house. Because we
Maybe.
swap cars.
Oh,
y
no,
él
no,
siempre tiene el carro impecable. Yo lo tengo loaded with a million things. Yeah, no.
Don't check my trunk.
Yeah.
Ah, lo otro con
Está reemplazando ahorita a Rodrigo.
Bueno, te lo vemos.
Yeah, if it doesn't belong in there.
¿En dónde?
In his car, si no viene con el carro, it doesn't belong in there. He's
Really?
yeah, he's
No, hombre, yo ahorita
a little
¿Ya?
So si tengo cosas ahí, me las bajo y las pongo en el super.
Yeah, you are here.
Thank
you. You think 5 minutes will suffice? Okay. Who is?
Jackie?
I think people are.
We weren't here for the elections then?
We're showing it.
Oh, you're like, no, I have anything to do. Hey, so how is that going out? Like, so it's they only graduate in Mexico or graduate in
No,
both
both.
places?
They do their, it's kind of like the rainbow. They do their homeschool,
Mhm.
and then you, whoever wants to
Okay.
sign up.
I'll give you the.
Are they high school
When,
students or what?
start
Yeah?
Wrapping up.
Oh,
So it's like,
so it's a, tell them.
so finance, we did a financial graduation. So for people that had family that didn't have support, so we did a ceremony yesterday in Tijuana. So sign up and say how many family members you're bringing. And we did it at the least. So out of the, forgot how many high schools, like 14 high schools. We had 205 kids graduated. So
Wow.
they had, so the second ceremony.
For that family that couldn't.
Isn't that
It
nice?
was cool. It was super cool. Yeah.
I see. So it was you, Mr. Moises Aguirre. And a lot of oh, yeah, yeah.
Tres veces al día.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. It's the first one ever.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Who took the initiative? Sweetwater?
Yes. Southwestern did it first.
Okay.
They've done it this year, and then we just pretty much copied what they.
Copy paste. No, that's good.
And it was,
Okay, everyone, we're gonna start the meeting. So, I can have your attention, please. Thank you so much, everyone. It's 5:30. Before we start, I know you have someone that wants to do public comment. Anybody else wants to do public comment? Comentario público. We have a translator. Si alguien ocupa traductor, tenemos un traductor ahí. Y vamos a empezar la junta. Thank you so much. We're gonna start the meeting. 5:30. So I'm gonna do a call to order at 5:30, and then I'm gonna do the roll call. So Jacqueline Gutierrez,
She's on her way. She's stuck in traffic.
Adriana Castañeda,
Here.
Elber González, Jennifer Espinosa, Manuel López, Isaac, Stanford Morrison, Rodolfo López Jr.,
Here.
Marcia Pérez Hinojosa, also sick, Alejandro Farias, Consuelo Delgadillo, Ricardo Martínez, Paula Redondo,
Here.
Roxanne Palestino,
Presente.
Olga Espinosa,
Here.
Cristian Fuentes, present. So we're gonna move to item 2. We don't have Ricardo here, right? Does anybody want to volunteer and take in minutes if he comes? If anybody can you take minutes while hopefully he comes? Okay. On the meanwhile, item 2, I make a motion to approve the agenda. Any seconds? Second by Castañeda. Those that are in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, the agenda passes. So now we're gonna move to item 3. We have a public comment by Mr. Mendoza. Marcos what? Espinosa, yes. You have 3 minutes. Let me just put the timer. Okay, perfect.
Hello, Marcos Espinosa. This is my first time attending this community planning meeting. I'm happy to be here. Register my.
Thank you. Thank you so much and welcome. Last call. Anybody wants to do some public comment? 3 minutes.
I'll throw something out there.
And just state your name, please, for the secretary.
My name is Brandon Placencia. I'm actually a resident of Oakland Mesa, but I'm here, as I've seen, San Ysidro does need a lot of work. It does need a lot of improvement. And I think, we're all concerned about the community, and that's why we're here today. Something that, want to bring up, maybe an idea is San Ysidro might want to consider looking at a charity organization, or maybe working with the city. I've noticed a lot of like trash, furniture abandoned, maybe reaching out. I've tried to do my part by putting them and get it done, trying to get them removed. I know some of them it's like, okay, city, state, different agencies for different things. But I know that hurts the community, it hurts attendance. I've gotten feedback from, my wife, other residents are like, no, hey, how about we go here instead? I'm like, no, I'd like to stay local, do things local. The San Ysidro area is about the same distance from Otay Ranch. But, as I get to know the community more, I'm like, okay, how can I support? How can I bring my tax dollars into this part of the community instead of choosing the city of Chula Vista? So that's just my general feedback. Hopefully, the community can come together. I know that Ms. Palestino had shared with me that there is cleanup events. I'll try to attend them as best as I can, because they're usually on my days that I work, but I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you. Last call. Anybody wants to do public comment? Going once, twice, 3 times? Okay. Now we're gonna move to items 4. We actually have Mr. Perez present. He's been in the planning group. He was in the planning group for more than 3 decades, and we want to take some time to honor his all his time and his accomplishments. So we have a proclamation. Is Andres here? We have a proclamation from the County of San Diego. Andres, do you want to say some words?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Alberto has been a part of this planning group for many years. We wanted to congratulate him on all the time he spent. We want to make sure that he's honored by the county, and there's a little special dedication at the bottom of the proclamation that I'm going to read, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that he's well represented. So be it proclaimed by Chair Tara Lawson-Reamer and all the members of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors on this 10th day of June, 2026, that they commend Alberto Perez for his outstanding service, leadership, and commitment to the residents of San Diego County, and do hereby declare this day to be Alberto Perez Day throughout San Diego County. Congratulations.
Someone taking a picture?
Yes. Could we take a picture with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Yeah,
I'm not going to hog the spotlight.
Can we take a picture with it?
Or do you go there to talk though?
Yeah, sure. Give me that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is a very special day for me. After approximately 40 years of service and collaboration with the San Ysidro Planning Group, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for this recognition and for giving me the opportunity to be part of a journey dedicated to the growth and well-being of our community, San Ysidro. At one point, our community was being left behind, but thanks to the commitment and hard work of so many people, we were able to attract investments and support for projects that have transformed our neighborhood. We witnessed the development of Las Americas Shopping Center, the construction of 400 single-family homes at Coral Gate, and the San Ysidro Library, the widening of the Otay Mesa Road from Bayer Boulevard to San Ysidro High School, the bike route border to Imperial Beach, and most importantly, the first phase construction of Bayer Hills Park. This project was often delayed due to lack of resources, but throughout persistence, determination, and teamwork, it finally became a reality. As I conclude my time as a member of the San Ysidro Planning Group, I do so with a deep sense of pride and gratitude. I hope the next generation will continue fighting for the growth and improvements of San Ysidro. Never giving up on important projects and always showing the same love and dedication of this community that so many of us have shared. Thank you to everyone who has been part of this journey. Thanks, San Ysidro Planning Group, for allowing me to serve. And thank you, San Ysidro, for giving me the opportunity to dedicate so much of my life to this wonderful community. What I wanted to add is that back in 2007, we had a design done by the city of San Diego of Bayer Park. It was about 15 acres of park. And what happened was in 2008, we had the depression and no money for the next 18 years. Now we got a new one, but the project is only 8 acres. The other 7 are protected. They found out, habitat, species, and that's why at least we got it started. It's there right now, and we need to push for funding for the second and possible third phase. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Perez, are you okay with we take a picture?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's take a picture.
Yeah, maybe you want to get the where
We should just get up, no? But
here. Yeah. If anybody wants to join the picture with Mr. Perez, but you should be in the middle. More than 4, like 34, right? So 39. Anybody from the public wants to join? ¿No quiere ser usted su esposa? Adriana. Aquí el lugar si quieres.
Así de ladito cada quien.
wait, first, one at a time.
Uno, dos, tres.
Thank
No, muchas gracias, Mr. Perez.
Thank you, Brandon. Y si le tapé la cara, no quería tapar caras.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Perez. In the name of the planning group, I think we're very thankful of your service, and we hope to see you here. I know Adriana has something that she wants to talk about, like maybe your involvement in a few action items. But yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Perez.
No work, just enjoy.
Now we're gonna move to item 4B. So as I mentioned in the email, we have 2 vacancies. We have one for the Alta Mesa Planning Group representative and one for the CPC. For the Alta Mesa Planning Group, basically we have a good relationship with the Alta Mesa Planning Group, that we have someone that from our board that is also in the board of the Alta Mesa Planning Group. So they also have voting power. They attend the meetings. They meet. I am forgetting when they meet, but I send that on the email. Yes. Yes.
So third Wednesday of every month, from 3 to 5 virtually.
Yes. Thank you so much, Victor. So yeah, as I asked anybody that was interested in being in the position to send me an email and send me maybe why you're interested, qualifications, or why you're interested. And I had a lot of people that were very interested, so I'm very thankful of that. So for this, I decided to appoint Adriana Castañeda. for this position. I read, although I wish more people send me the resumes, but based on what you share with me on privately, like everybody had a chance to like tell me about themselves. Yeah, I think I want to nominate you for the Alta Mesa Planning Group. So I want to make a motion. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So basically, I was wondering, like, what's the reason or the idea behind that? Like, collaboration is so amazing. Alta Mesa, as you know, planning group is Alta Mesa East, so industrial. Why not, for example, Alta Mesa Nestor, which is more like residential? Basically, that, like, why Alta Mesa and not Alta Mesa Nestor? That's my question.
Yes, so that's a great question. That actually happened way before I was here.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess I think the term is like grandfather clock.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's very odd. But I guess because we have a share, like San Ysidro High School is technically part of Alta Mesa. So I guess I can see because of the proximity. But maybe we can explore in Alta Mesa and Esther. But yes.
Former board member, I think he was a board member, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just got elected to the Alta Mesa planning group, like as a board member as well.
Yes. Yeah, he was a representative here, but he turned out, and then we had to choose someone else. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I think I had a lot of great candidates, but I based it on kind of like Victor was saying, there is a business aspect of it, and I know based on the resumes, I know you have a background in business or somewhat related to like business. So yeah, I want to make a motion to nominate Adriana to the Alta Mesa as the Alta Mesa Planning Group representative. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Oh no! But first, any yes? Any yes? Any nays? Any abstentions? So I think that it passes anonymous. It passes. Everybody agrees. So we're gonna yeah. If you could write that in the minutes, Ricardo.
Yeah, it was motion. Yeah, unanimously approved.
So now for the CPC, as I mentioned, I had a lot of people that applied. And if I didn't pick you, I apologize, but I did have to make a decision, and I encourage you to start getting involved. Just because you didn't get the position doesn't mean that you cannot show up to the meetings. But I did have to choose. But everybody was very qualified. Yes.
How do we go about getting a representative for the Nestor one? I think that's an excellent point.
We will have to talk to the Alta Mesa Nestor, and I don't know if they will have to change their bylaws. That's a great question that we can ask the city planning. Okay. Unless Victor, do you happen to have that answer?
I don't, but since I'm going to the Alta Mesa Nestor Planning Group right after this meeting, if you want me to, I'll just bring it up, right? That there is an interest, and maybe they can just discuss it right there and then. If you're okay with that. Yeah,
I mean, are we okay with that as a board? Is that something that we want to explore? Okay, yeah. I mean, they have to agree. What if they say no? So yeah, they have to agree. So yeah, so for the CPC, basically what this does is that it's usually the chair, but I know a lot of people show interest, and I wanted to open the position, but what they do is that they represent us with all of the planning groups. All the planning groups, they have another planning group, it's called the CPC, and they need to discuss kind of like the problems that are going all through the city. It's very interesting, but it's in Claremont, so it's a little far. But yeah, for that one, I know Jennifer. I'm gonna nominate you because of your background. I know you graduated with your master's too in public policy. Is it public policy? International relations. So you were very interested in it, and I will nominate Jennifer Espinosa. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any yays? Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, so then yeah, Ricardo, if you can write that down for the
Jennifer, what is your background?
So my bachelor's degree is international studies focused on political science. I recently graduated from my master's at the University of San Diego in international relations with a master's. And right now I work at a nonprofit called San Diego Community Council, where we connect the international community with San Diego local resources. So kind of showing that exchange and how San Diego has so much to offer. So I've been trying to highlight certain organizations here, like in San Ysidro or like South Bay.
Amazing. Love it. Thank you.
Perfect. So yeah, I will send the information to both of you when the meetings are. I'm gonna send the emails to the chair of the chairs to nominate you. I'm gonna send to Mr. Hickson, the chair of the Alta Mesa Planning Group, to nominate you to tell them that you are now part of you're the representative, Adriana. Now we're gonna move to item 4D. Unfortunately, Mr. Lopez really wanted to present this, but he had a medical problem, and he asked me to remove it from the agenda until he feels better so he can discuss it. So we're gonna,
Can I just make a comment?
Mhm.
And Victor or Rodrigo, can you ask Rodrigo to look into it? We sent the letter already, and then this crosswalk has already been put into the register, but it has not been funded.
Which one?
This letter, it's the item 4B. We already did that a couple years ago, and it's been accepted, but it hasn't been funded. So, I think maybe Rodrigo just needs to look at the status.
Okay, perfect. Can you please confirm which crosswalk? Just the streets, please? Sorry, I don't have the agenda. My apologies.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's the one right here, between here,
Ote Mesa Road.
between here and the middle.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez. That's actually good that we can get that information. Perhaps we don't need to rewrite the letter, or we could reaffirm our support to getting funding. But thank you so much. Now we're gonna move to item 4E. We have 4E. Yeah, 4E. We have a guest, Mr. Colmenares, for the presentation. I'll give you 15 minutes and then 4 questions. So, however you wanna do that. Let me just put the timer.
Thank you, Kristen.
And then this is your presentation, correct? Yes. Okay.
Will we control the slides or will someone else?
You control slides.
Great, let me just move this over here. Well, since the timer's running, I'll just get right into it. Hello, welcome. My name is Luis Colmenares. I am on the advisory board for Public Power San Diego. My partner here is Isaiah Gladso. We're here to talk about why SDG bills are so high. And I'm just gonna let Isaiah talk for a little bit and then I'll get to it too.
Yeah, thank you all for attending. Thank you, Luis, for setting this up. My name is Isaiah Galasso. I'm the program director for Public Power San Diego. In this presentation, we're going to split it up into kind of 2 segments, which is going to be talking about the SDG&E problem and the public power solution. Real quick before I get into it, who here pays an SDG&E bill? So I'm sure you're all aware that we're paying some of the highest rates in the nation. You can go to the next slide. Oopsies.
Do you need help?
Okay. So we're gonna go to the presentation. This one.
Yeah, you just hit such.
It's that one,
Yeah, there you go. So SDG&E is a for-profit monopoly. They're an investor-owned utility, which means there is no competition with them, and they have an exclusive right to own the poles and wires of our community. And I think really the other thing is that there's absolutely no competition. So again, for-profit monopoly. There's no competition driving down prices. Next slide. And this has been a long time coming. We have our rates have been rising in like astronomical rate over the last 30 years. We're paying some of the highest rates in the nation right now. We're actually like 4 times the national average, and we're about double the rates of publicly owned utilities in California. Next slide. And so, yeah, this is the SDG&E problem. Right now, 1 in 4 San Diegans are in debt to their utility. That is literally people choosing to put food on the table or keep the lights on, pay the rent. And that to me is a moral tragedy of our city. Again, we're paying some of the highest rates in the nation. There is no end in sight. SDG&E's goal is to extract profit from us. That is their goal. They do not serve us. They serve shareholders. They serve Wall Street. And the worst part about all of this is that this is allowed to happen through something called regulatory capture. Has anyone heard of regulatory capture? Next slide. So SDG&E, again, is a for-profit monopoly, an investor-owned utility. And you might ask yourself, why is that allowed to happen, right? We live in America. There should be competition in all markets. The reality is that utility grids cannot be competitive because they're natural monopolies. There's no way you'd be building a second set of poles and wires to power a city. So what happens is that essentially we allow this for-profit monopoly to exist because we regulate them through something called the California Public Utilities Commission, the CPUC. And this is a board of 5 people, here are their faces, and they are appointed by the governor. And regulatory capture is the process by which these investor-owned utilities, so PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, that's around the LA area, and SDG&E, they invest essentially through donations, campaign donations to the governor's race, which basically allows for the governor to appoint friendly CPUC commissioners. And the craziest thing about this is that these commissioners either have come from these investor-owned utilities or once they're done being commissioners, they go and work for the investor-owned utilities. And this is the system of regulatory capture. Basically, the craziness of this is that the regulators who are meant to regulate these companies act as an arm of the corporations they're meant to regulate. It is absolutely insane. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Luis to talk about the public power solution.
Cool, thanks. So, great. So what is the solution? Well, with public power, we envision through our background work and studies that we've done that there will be 20% lower rates on day one when our public power proposal gets enacted. That translates to over $130 billion in savings for our community over 30 years back into your pocket. And it's not going to be a for-profit managed by a board of directors and some tower. We're going to have local community control for that entity. Next slide. Here we have a graph showing out of the many utilities we have in California, these green are the 4 public utilities. This red is here, us in San Diego. In Silicon Valley, they're paying 17 cents per kilowatt hour. Over here in San Diego, we're paying 42 cents per kilowatt hour. If that doesn't get you upset about the money that's just taken out of your pocket every month, this is where you should be concerned, because it's not only affecting our community as a residents, but all the businesses, think of the restaurants, the gas stations, retail stores, they're going to pass that high cost of living increase to their customers as to us as well. So this is an important topic. Next slide.
Can I just add one thing to this slide real quick?
Yes.
There are over 40 public utilities across California, and on average, they pay half the rates we do. And I really want to highlight too, in Sacramento, where all the politicians live, they're paying 19 cents a kilowatt hour. So they figured it out for the politicians.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here's a map of our city council districts. We're here in District 8. Public power will be, our proposals to do our proposal and our new nonprofit and all of the districts here. Next slide, please. How do we do this? Well, we are going to have perhaps a ballot initiative. We're working with to create a city council majority vote on this issue, because we're going to present these proposals to the city council. But most importantly, we're looking for volunteers. And if you just don't want to volunteer, you just want to be behind the initiative, you can scan this QR code and sign our open letter. This is really going to be a grassroots effort. There's some large interests that are going to work against this proposal, but I'm still in the belief that if we get enough people to get behind this initiative at the grassroots, it'll become important for our representatives to do the right thing for our community. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, so I kind of checked this out a little bit, and are you associated with community power, the same kind of concept?
Similar.
Because community power, what they say is they get it from green resources, like solar throughout the state or throughout the Southwest. And the problem is that the state of California mandates a 30%. So SDG&E has to get, just like community power. But people don't realize that that SDG&E, when you call up, they're the trucks that come to your house. When one of their power lines goes down and burns a fire, they are the ones sued, and they have to carry the insurance. And so that is passed on. Whereas community power does not have any trucks. They're not coming out in the middle of the night to service your back down power line. And so that's one of the things. The other things, in the Bay Area and Sacramento, like you said, they have Orville and they have Shasta Dam, which provides hydroelectric power. My son lives in Redding, but because they're in the Redding, right below Shasta Dam, they have really subsidized rates. So I just want to say that there's a little bit more issues than what you say, because if the state of California is mandating 30% renewables, and community power is out there capturing all that 30%, well, then SDG&E has to go beyond that to find the most expensive, because the farther you go away, the more expensive it gets. And the industry, the solar industry knows that. So that's why, SDG charges these rates, because number one, they're carrying all the service load. They're carrying all the trucks and the maintenance. They're also carrying the service load to tear down San Onofre. They're also carrying the ability to go out and find renewables.
I'm sorry, was there
So that's, I'd say that so there's a lot more to this. There's a lot deeper things to this thing. I appreciate your presentation, but there's a lot more deeper things than it's just, that they're gouging us. But, we don't have hydroelectric here.
So one thing that we do have in abundance is solar and sun. We have an abundance of sun. And there is absolutely no reason why we should not be saturating the city of San Diego with solar and battery storage. And the only reason we don't do that is because SDG&E is a for-profit monopoly, and that eats in directly to their profit margin. And yes, SDG&E, they own the poles and wires. San Diego Community Power, I think one point of confusion with a lot of people is San Diego Community Power is a generation source. They are not a delivery or transmission source. They just procure energy. SDG&E also does that. What we're proposing is that the city purchase the grid from SDG&E, and the city would be doing those poles and wires. And, more importantly, it's like, this is just morally wrong. A quarter of San Diegans in debt to a for-profit company that's owned by Wall Street, morally wrong. And, yes, like San Diego Community Power is a generation source. SDG&E is the delivery source, and we want to replace the delivery source. That is where the profit is being made as well. SDG&E makes money, a guaranteed 10% profit margin on the cost of delivery and transmission. So I appreciate your comments, but I think that it's oh yeah.
I have a question for you. So is this going to be similar to the Texas model where there's different providers, they all use the same grid, but they have different rates? I have friends in Texas that with the winter storm, they got some massive crazy bills because the market rate all of a sudden shot up. So there was no protections for them. Instead, they ended up with a $10,000 electric bill that otherwise would have been $150.
Right.
So that's the only concern I would have. If that type of model has shown this type of result in other states, how are we going to protect San Diegans against that type of?
So Texas is not a publicly owned system. It's a competition system, deregulated. And we have that same system. So San Diego Community Power is in competition with SDG&E on the generation side. We, again, are proposing more of a model like SMUD or, Silicon Valley Power Authority, where the city government would basically own and operate the utility. And our proposal is also like a independent expenditure. So it'd be like its own entity separate from the city, governed by experts, people who run the grid type of situation. It would be different than what Texas is.
But as you're procuring energy, you still have to buy from market, correct?
We would.
Correct, yeah.
So
But
you're still subjected to different market rates? Because I know solar at a certain point was going negative because they were doing excess capacity.
Right.
Thus is why we started doing the batteries supplements to capture that energy and sell it at different times where it was profitable.
Totally. Yeah. And I think a huge barrier is like the hydroelectric dam example. It's like our hydroelectric dam is solar and battery storage in San Diego. And SDG&E's NEM rates, I don't know if anyone owns solar here, but the NEM rates have completely killed the solar industry.
Yes. I want to say that in this kind of ideas are good. When somebody begins to look at how this problem of increase and rising bills, that's when we have to stand up and voice our own opinion. My family depends on San Diego Gas and Electric, but that doesn't mean it's fine for the way we are, with bills that are skyrocketing. No, so I think that we should look at seriously what the solutions are. Okay, and we know that the renewable energies is abundant. And we also know that there's a certain cost for power lines, for maintenance, and those things, that those bills will not go away just because we're going to sign up just like other entities not too far away from here. I think Oceanside, they're already independent, but there's also huge problems with going independent. What kind of problems? Well, is that first of all, there's a hidden cost that each community in each city that wants to go independent, they'll be buried in billions of hidden costs that we, going, if the entire city of San Diego goes independent, we're going to be paying over 20 years the rights that the city has given San Diego Gas and Electric for the properties as well as the right-of-ways, and they have all this already in a bank account, and somebody has to give it back to them because they've been working hard at earning those privileges. And so right now the contract was just renewed, I think last year with San Diego, with the city of San Diego, and now we have to go the next 10 years or so. So for the new contract to be written up again, and then they're looking to profits, and some of these numbers are the ones that we as consumers are going to be stuck with for a long time. What my idea is that all of us should think twice and try to get the right solution and get the California UPC utilities to give us a plan that can work with these big companies that already got billions of dollars already invested in equipment and lines and everything.
Yeah.
And we cannot ignore that because, okay, sounds good, let's go independent. How much it's already been estimated what our savings are going to be. It's already estimated. And from what I heard, it's probably like $10, $20 on each bill. Or the numbers can vary according to the fuel cost and everything, because San Diego Gas and Electric have to depend on buying fuel from the outside too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my idea is having to do a profound study, not just, okay, sell it like, oh, are we going to go independent and our bills are supposed to go lower?
There's been a feasibility
What's your
study.
name?
Paul Arredondo.
Yeah, there's been a feasibility study done.
Like I said,
There's actually been 4 studies done in the city of San Diego, and all of them show structural cost savings. And to your point, like the billions of dollars that have been invested, that is our money. Every dollar that SDG&E spends is our money. It is not their money. So we have invested the money in the grid. They have not. It's actually insane. If you look at your bill, there is a statement on there that says the franchise differential fee. Have you guys looked at that? Do you know what that means? That means we're paying for SDG&E's franchise fee that they pay to the city. We're paying for SDG&E's right to extract profit from us. That is fundamentally wrong. And so I appreciate other solutions and ideas and saturating the city with solar and doing some other option. But the reality is that this is an investor-owned utility, a for-profit monopoly that is extracting wealth from our communities. And that's a problem. And we have to solve it by taking control locally.
Is there one more question?
Yes, one more question.
Thank you.
Go. Thank you, sir.
Just to let you know how my bill, electric bill go up. I have 60 years living in San Ysidro. I paid in the past like 30, 35, 40. When I become senior, they enroll me in the care program.
Yeah.
They're supposed to give me a special for seniors and low income check. And they start to raise about 10, 5, 3. But since last year, they start to charge me $85 for 6 months. And 2 months ago, from 85, I am paying right now 138.
Yeah.
The same, just myself, the same light, the same gas, and a lot of money for a senior
For sure.
and a low income. I don't know what to do.
I'm very sorry to hear that. And there are a lot of low income programs. I'm not sure what to say besides we got to organize ourselves and take down this for-profit monopoly. I think that is the solution. And I guess the last thing I want to say real quick is these feasibility studies. There's a brand new one that came out just in April. It's called the Phase 2 Public Power Feasibility Study. It's on the city's website. You're welcome to look it up. And this study is going to the full council on June 22nd. It's at the 2 p.m. session. If anyone's able to attend, the council will be talking about it. Yeah, it's June 22nd at 2 p.m. So it's coming up in less than 2 weeks, and that'll be an opportunity for the contractor that did that study, UGen, to kind of answer questions the city has. And just some highlights, some high-level overviews of what that study found, Paul, is structural cost savings. And even in the worst case scenarios, the most conservative way you can possibly model public power, we see billions of dollars of savings over 30 years. And that's like the worst case scenario. And if we do more strategic options, like a distribution only grid, we would see, again, upwards of 20% savings on day one and $130 billion over 30 years. And that is tax revenue for the city. That's money staying in San Diego, not going to Wall Street and shareholders, basically. So that's the presentation.
Yes, one question. Go ahead, sir.
June 22nd, where?
June 22nd, City Hall, downtown.
Oh, 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't my question, but thank you. Your presentation, the page where it shows the map of California, could you go to that actually?
Sure.
Yeah, that one. This is great. The kilowatts per what?
Per hour.
Cents per kilowatt hour. Cents per kilowatt hour.
Something to, I think, help in your next presentation would be for those of us who have not made that transition to electric cars yet. People who have electric cars are a lot more aware of the electricity rates, and there's different rates at different times and different charging stations, and so you get to know the numbers and the terminology. So using to add to your presentation, somewhat teaching us the public, because even I still need to learn these things.
It's a complex subject. It's a complex subject.
Because it's just technology you just not used to. Like gas powered car, $1 per gallon, MPG, whatever. It's like completely different terminology for electricity. So to make those big numbers or small numbers, but big, the W wattage, I think it would help educate myself and other people if you add that for the electric cars thing. And then the last thing I have if you just literally all the money that SEG has ever made in terms of profit out of the last 30 years, there's just the not operating costs. There's operating costs, how much it costs to do everything, and then a little bit more of the gravy on top that they put on it.
Yeah.
You just literally extracted that gravy, that's the profit that goes to all the shareholders. Over the course of 30 years, I don't know what that adds up to. I'm sure you know.
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
That's us. That's our tax dollars. That's our money that was them so they can make profit. And I'm not against.
Kind of add on to one thing of that too is that it's not just the profit cost, but it's the governance model, right? Like San Diego could be saturating solar and having a solar green energy boom. There'd be hundreds of thousands of people that have jobs, but we're not doing that because SDG&E is governed by a for-profit monopoly. Their goal is to extract profit, not to solve our problems, not to provide us with affordable, clean energy. So yes, it's also governance. It's not just the profit as well.
Thank
Thank
you so much.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna move to item 4F. I know Ms. Castañeda formed we approved as engagement subcommittee maybe like a few months ago, and I know you wanted to follow up. So the floor is yours. I'll put 20 minutes on the timer, and feel free to speak. And if you want to recognize someone, you just recognize them, and they yield the time back to you.
Okay. So just really quick, I think back in, I think it was January or February meeting, I proposed to create like a community engagement subcommittee, and we've kind of been working on it and trying to get it off the ground. I think we have a lot of momentum. I just want to applaud the board because the last two events, I think more than half the board has attended. which is the cleanup with Council Member Moreno. So we kind of leveraged that and we built upon it to do a little bit more traction and kind of bring back some of the stuff that was done last year. So I'm very happy about that. And then there was a Casa Familiar presentation on some housing issues. And once again, more than half the board attended and was present and had questions and really put the word out there. And it was a packed house. I don't think there was almost any empty seats. So that was a really good advantage. Once again, I want to express the power of working together. That's a perfect example of working together. Even the people there that were holding the meeting were surprised on how many people attended. So that's the power of working together once again. But anyways, I wanted the community, I call it Community Continuity and Mentorship Subcommittee, and it's for community engagement. There's some board members that have been participating for a very, very long time, and they have historic information on why things happen, when things happen, and kind of build everything, kind of put all the puzzles together. I don't want to lose that. We have a lot of new members with different ideas, but also I strongly believe that you should pair up the new people with the people with the experience, with the history, and I think that will make us even stronger as a community and as a board itself. So I wanted to bring back the opportunity where we could have like Mr. Perez, if Rickba or Marley, or whoever has been in the board at one point or another, participate. They will. My idea would be like, yes, they will not have voting rights, but we could actually bring them in as a subcommittee within the board, within this meeting itself. Everybody has a good heart. Everybody has an invested interest in making our community better. So what else than to leverage the people that have all that knowledge, the understanding, the relationships, and bridge the gap together. So anyways, that's one of my goals. Another thing is also there's many members that feel like we need to meet a little bit more often, brainstorm ideas, create more events, make ourselves more visible, and kind of pretty much dig our heels into the community and actually be out there doing something. This would be part of the engagement subcommittee as well. I do have a proposed meeting scheduled for the 25th, Thursday, the 25th of June. I believe I said 5:30.
6.
Is that 6? Okay, 6 o'clock. I always say you have to be there a little bit early. So I'm still working out a little bit on the details. I actually created already like a pre-agenda, and but everybody's going to be welcome to join the subcommittee. Anybody who attends, anybody who wants to pitch in and be part, and maybe you ran for board and didn't get the votes to be in it, but this is an opportunity to actually be part of it as well in a subcommittee format. So that's about it. Any questions?
You didn't say where the meeting is. It has to be a public.
It's a public. I'm still working out some details. It's to be determined as of right now, but I'll send an email to that distribution list, and I'll send more information.
Just point of information, I think I told you before, but for reference, because we are under the Brown Act, it has to be a public meeting.
Yes.
We have to do for 72 business 70 business hours. So that means that not on a weekends or a holiday. So you have to send the agenda in the public play and the meeting location 3 days before. So.
Yes. So we will announce it, and I will send it on the email, and I will also submit it so they could upload it in our social media pages. Everybody's welcome to attend. Anybody who wants to participate and support San Ysidro is more than welcome with open arms.
Where is going to be the meeting?
I'm still trying to figure out dates. I'm still trying to figure out location. I just need to confirm it, and to kind of get an idea about how many people. So depending on, I'm still working on it, but I'll send an email. I'll make sure that everybody's notified.
2 questions. Well, the first one, how often will this committee meet? And then what is the main goal that you want to achieve with this committee under 6 months?
So my main objective is community engagement, and the recurrence of the meetings will depend. Once we meet, we'll get feedback from everybody. It's very important to get input from everybody and that everybody's ideas are heard and respected. and contribute, because great ideas happen in brainstorming sessions. So the first meeting, that's what it's going to be. It's a brainstorming session where everybody could put their 2 cents, say, hey, this is what I want to see. These are the events I would like to see out there. Get involved, and then we'll all work together to make them happen. And even within the subcommittee, we could break out like little spin-offs for different projects. Like if somebody's really passionate about domestic violence, or somebody's really passionate about planting trees, or I don't know, family night, or anything like that. Anything that will include us in there. I know we've discussed about maybe going to the parks with a little tent, a little easy up, and a little banner, and just let the community know that we're here, that we're present, that we're involved. That's why like the planning group actually going to those events is so important. We still have a lot of stuff that we need to upload to our social media, and we're still working on it. Once it's ready, we'll be uploading it. But yes, and I think people are noticing our presence is there. So I think we've gotten a really good head start.
Thank you. If I can, 30 seconds. Please. So I don't need to preach to the choir, but I mean, planning groups are so important. It's really hard to get traction, right, in every community. I think we're all like trying to, again, you know this better than anyone. This year, actually, what we convinced the planning group to actually start attending community events. There was a health fair at Montgomery High School like about 2 months ago, and the planning group, they had like a table with board members, and they had like flyers, like promoting the planning and talking to like families about like, hey, like this is who we are, we meet every month. Most people have no idea, right? They're like, oh, really? You meet every month? Where? I didn't know, and so on. And they were getting like even emails from attendants, right, on attendees, so they can like send them the reports and so on. And that was just one event, right? But
absolutely,
I mean, it really, in my opinion, goes a really, really long way to have that.
That's exactly what part of the vision and what some people have expressed. I know about a year ago, Christian, we were thinking about holding. Well, I think I kind of put out the idea. Why don't we meet in different areas? I had some people say, hey, you know what? If I live over here by Howard Park, if you guys came over here, I would go. And then that way we hit other areas of the community. But maybe taking the whole board over there may not be a good idea, but maybe the subcommittee where, like you just stated, where you have a little easy up, you could create some banners, and I'm sure we could get those donated. I really don't see an issue. And just go out there and start representing, Any other questions?
As the location is still to be determined, I would suggest maybe the San Ysidro Library would be a good location, especially that big room where recently, like the election, the polls were there. Like that big room would be good for that.
So I need to call them because I was told that they're only there till 6 o'clock.
Oh.
So then after that, there's no support. So that's the problem with the facilities, that they spend a lot of money, they create all these nice places, but the community doesn't have access to them. So actually, as a subcommittee, that's something that I would like to push as well. Why are we meeting here? Why are we not meeting in there? That's one thing. So it's like we need to start valuing our committees, our people, our representatives. Kindly remind yourselves or remind the community, we donate our time. We don't get paid for this. We invest our time. Some of us invest our money. Some of us invest our family. Why are we being kind of like booted out and given scraps?
And I want to say, after being at other community groups, this one is one of the best I have attended.
Yes.
You guys are engaged, you care, and you do an awesome job.
Yay,
So,
I second that.
You really do.
Why don't you check the park and rec center?
worker
They
here.
close late.
Good idea. Okay, after the meeting, I'll get some information from you. Yeah, so right now that's kind of what I run into. There's just the availability is not there for the community. That has to be changed. I'm not sure if that goes through the city council, but something has to change. How can we expect a group to come out and make a difference? You don't give them a budget, you don't give them resources, and you just expect them to do it themselves.
If I may add, I do want to acknowledge that, for example, Black Books has been a
Yes.
great partner. They let us do the community gardening there. We had meetings over there. But I also want to put Elmer on the spot, but is there any way we could use maybe Black Box?
So I actually did reach out to Albert, and he had asked me to put a couple of dates, and I think the 25th was one of them. I chose two of them. I just, we haven't finished our conversation, and I didn't want to put him on the spot, but yes.
Too late.
I also want to note one thing. My respects, Albert leads from example. He puts his money where his mouth is. He doesn't have the resources that our council people do, that our politicians has, but yet, whatever he does have, he shares it with the community, whether space, donations, bringing the community together. And it's honestly, it's admire, and I do admire that.
So, for the space, there was some reasons why they told us to come over here. But I'm thinking that they're gonna open the park up there, or La Mirada. Maybe we can have a community center, brand new, and it's about to open. Maybe you guys can host it for us, the city. Because if we do, we will need to pay probably for it. But if council can reach and help us with that, it'll be a location where there's parking. I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean, if you guys can host it, we can stay there late. A little later.
Does Bayer will have a rec center? Bayer Park? Will it? No. Okay, yeah. As far as
¿Y el Kojima Center? No lo va a estar, Rui? A ver si es cierto.
Or even the senior center.
An example without taking too much time, right? For example, this happens with other planning groups as well, right? For example, Jose and Esther, it goes on for, we were talking about this, for a long time. Every single meeting was like 3 or 4 hours, no joke. Parks and Rec staff, we used to that Robert Egger Sr., were telling us, like, you have to go, because, like, we're closing. Unionized employees, like, they don't stay longer, right? And I told them, I'll close. Like, I'm here, right? I'm going to be here until late. Like, I can close. They're like, no, I'm sorry. Like, we can't. Like, it's for Parks and Rec staff, you know what I mean? Like, we do work for the city, but we're different. Like, we're not in the department, and neither library staff or Parks and Rec staff usually will just like give it. We even asked, like, would you give the key to Officer Eddington? Like, SDPD, when we trust the police, they're like, nah, we can't do it. Not that they're interested, of course, right? But usually they don't really want to cooperate in that sense. Like,
I understand, but remember, this is public funding. This is tax dollars. They don't own anything. Us, the people, do. And I think it's time to remind them that our tax dollars is what funds all that. I think they lose sight of that. But that starts with you guys as well. And I'm not to put the responsibility on you, but it starts with us raising our hand, and it starts with you carrying the message up.
Absolutely.
I want to add, the Park and Rec, the one behind what used to be called the Boys Club back then, that one stays late to like 9, 10 because there's kids playing sports and stuff. So that's an open center later compared to the one by the senior center that they have to go and open. But the Park and Rec is about to open and they stay really late.
Okay, where's that one located?
It's behind La Mirada Elementary.
Oh, let me tell you, I'm the board of the Park and Rec. The one that is closed already for remodeling and probably gonna be ready next month or August. We are meeting in the senior center because that place is closed. But we have the Larson Field Center.
Okay.
That one is Community Activity Center. Supposed to be the Boys Club in the past.
Yes, the one that was
And now
mentioning.
the Community Service Center. And the other one is Larson Field. They changed the name, Larson Field, no more Cesar Chavez. The city came to change the name. And that's why it's Larson Field Community Center.
Okay. Well, good ideas. Thank you for all the feedback. I look forward for everybody, whoever wants to be part of it, participate. Everybody's welcome. Whether you're on the board, whether you're a resident, if you're in the community and you want to help and support, everybody's welcome. Hopefully we can recruit you in as well. Okay, any other questions? Yes.
What can we do as a planning now that the summer is coming to change the hours on some, like the public, the library and other places where we can get together, where us doing meetings or just for fun, to enjoy that.
Yeah.
What can we do to help us change that?
I mean, I can try to address this, but I mean, as you know, we just went through like a quite difficult like budget season, and in fact, libraries and parks and rec hours were to be cut. And one of the huge like good news that I'm getting for everyone is that actually we preserve the 40 hours, right?
Yeah.
So right now, it's basically about trying to make a pitch to even increase those hours potentially, right? But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So very briefly, one thing that comes to mind is like, you know what, one day a month, instead of them working from 9 to 5, hey, have them start from 3 to 7 or whatever.
But for example, I mean, what I would say, my planning group, again, I don't know everyone, I want to be super respectful here, but like, you have so much power as the board, right, of the planning group. You can definitely send a formal letter, right, from the community planning group, right, to the San Ysidro Library, Utsu Park, being like, hey, would you consider switching those hours and so on? I mean,
Ricardo,
I don't know what they're going to say, right, but it
can
is
you add that on the
power
minutes?
to actually like formalize this, right?
Okay, so basically what you said is add a letter for them to adjust the hours and support the community.
When you basically tell us, right, Council Reps, like Rodrigo and me, we're liaisons. Like I would take the information and send that question on your behalf to the director, right, of Parks and Rec and Library and so on. But that's really all we do. Like we're in the middle trying to like pass information around. But you can also like, again, as the planning group, reach out directly. In fact, sometimes I would say that's even more effective because it's the community that's asking, the residents, the voters, not the council members.
And that's the thing we need to remind them. But yeah, but even in conjunction, working together is probably even more of a presence. Leon, you had a question?
Well, I was gonna say that we meet at the library in Imperial Beach, and they close it off, and we do stay till 8. But I didn't know that we had cut back the hours, so that may have changed. But the county libraries are generally open pretty late, and also in the morning, they're really not used that much. So they could change one day a month and not open late. It seems reasonable, because when you go in there, and the people are usually there in the afternoon anyway. The biggest hours in the afternoon.
Okay, well, I got 2 minutes left, but very good suggestion. The only thing that I really want to make this in the evening so people could actually attend. Everything's done during day hours, early hours where people cannot participate. I'm going to try to make this as flexible as we can to encourage everybody who can and wants to be there, at least throw in their little grain of sand. Yeah. Okay, last call. Any other questions?
I think it's a great idea. So I would love to be a part of it. I'll join you on the 25th.
Okay, so on the
6
25th,
p.m. on the 25th
we'll
to
sit
be
down, we'll
announced.
brainstorm, and together we'll build something. Okay,
Thank you
2
so
minutes
much,
back.
Ms. Castañeda. Okay, seems like it's a good meeting. Now we're gonna go. We have another guest here, Mr. Leon. Mr. Leon. Sorry, I just don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Benham.
Mr. Benham. You sent me the presentation on email, right? Yes, I saw it.
So
This one, right? I'm gonna give you 15 minutes and then 3 questions. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I'll just tell you when to click it on, right?
Yeah, or do you have a preference? You can also do it
Understanding
manually.
this thing, because the smell from the sewage is the biggest issue that we're facing. And so that's what I want to address first. If I have more time.
Can you
that's
smell it
great.
right now?
It smells like molly.
Oh, really? It's not here. I'm just no sé. No huele nada.
Tierra.
Ready? Yeah. So yeah, you let me know when to move this.
I know.
All right, I will.
Perfect.
So our group, the Citizens for Coastal Conservancy, has been around since about 2019. And you probably have seen these signs in our community. So we have been putting out these signs, and we've been trying to convince our county and city leaders to put the river back to where it naturally was. Because when it goes up to the north, behind every sign, there's this map. And so when it goes up here, it doesn't have the fall. So the water ponds. And when the rain stops, it dries over a long period of time. And then it smells. It smells. And so by putting the river back, it eliminates a large portion of the smell. And so let's let's go forward to the first slide, if you can. Or do I have to do that? Just push that forward? Okay, so the river, this is 1915. The river is a natural channel. That's just naturally the way it is. And you can see this is 1964. Again, it goes up here, and then it's a natural. Look at all the beautiful sand. It provides us sand to the beach of about 650,000 cubic yards a year. And so this is 1979, and then so this we were really when the county had proposed putting a retention pond here to capture sewage. This is right next to Coral Gate, and going, wait, you can't put a pond next to these homes because the smell is going to be. And then a few years ago, you remember when we had a big rain and it filled, it did smell. And so, as you can see, as time has gone by, and people don't realize, or maybe you do, but it's been a part of best management practices that you stop ponding because it stops mosquitoes, it stops the spread of disease. So we don't want to pond it. You remember, the river used to go up here. This is Jerry Mart Road, and that's what those ponds are there. That's the old river location. But the Corps of Engineers relocated the river. So, essentially they established that this is where the river should be. And I just segued to this because this is how sewage, what matters is that flowing rivers transport the sewage directly to the ocean. We get about 24 days of rain a year. And so by transporting the sewage, which is suspended, it's in the wash load. And so as water comes down the river, you have what's called the bed load, which is the rocks and gravel. Then you have the suspended load, which stays in the water. It doesn't settle. And then you have the wash load. The sewage is all in the wash load. So flowing rivers clean themselves. That's why a consolidated river in a single channel is the best natural way. It's the way it was. But floodplains, by spreading the water out, they basically trap the solids, and that's where we get the smell. Stagnant ponds, like at Hollister Street Bridge, drove over that pond? Man, it'd knock you over. And the hydrogen sulfide. So basically, moving water naturally cleans the river, restoring the river to its historic path, prevents stagnant ponds, and with proper maintenance, the river stays dry like this, and it eliminates the smell. And so this is when the water is running, man, it's going fast. And so right now, and one of the things too is you have to realize this drainage, which comes right down through San Ysidro, this is 1,800 square miles. That means a quarter inch of rain in this drainage is 11 billion gallons of water. So it is phenomenal. And so that's when that 11 billion gallons comes through and you divide it into what Tijuana produces, which is about 90 million, it goes down to it's not even 1% of the flow. So during rain flows, the sewage is dissipated. It's not concentrated. And so that's why it's great to have a consolidated river. So 650,000 cubic yards through the drains comes through the year. And that, if you think about that, a concrete truck is 10 yards. That means in 24 days, we have 60,000 trucks equivalent scouring that water down through the valley. And this is nature's way. We should use this. It's called nature-based engineering. It is really cutting edge, and they do this right now in Europe on the Danube rivers. They have studied this, and so they consolidate their river. How much time do I have?
8 minutes.
Oh, shit, I'm halfway through. Okay, can you put on the next one? So that is what these signs put up. This is what we're trying to convince desperately to our city officials. and to our county officials in the Nestor Planning Group. We have a Tijuana River subcommittee, and we're highly recommending that they restore the river, because we could restore the river flow in about 3 months in one summer. By the next time, because we have emergency declaration, it's on county and city properties. They don't need environmental approvals because it's a threat to public health, and it is a threat. And so that's why we're saying, use your emergency powers. Spend the $8 million to $5 million in one summer and correct this problem. Because if we get a big rain, like this El Nino that they're predicting, we really could have the stink gone in 6 months. I mean, it's totally practical. So one of the other things, I sent you a video. Do you have the ability to put a video up here that's on, that I think I sent you? You go to I guess Instagram.
To what? Instagram?
Oh, I sent it to you. Yeah, I think I did send it to you. No, it should be up. I just sent it to you.
You send me two.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next PowerPoint presentation.
This is the next one.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the next one.
Yeah, let's go through this. So, what's going on with the sewage issue? Right now, Coronado is, the rich people of Coronado are really pissed. They got brown and yellow water on their shores, and they're really freaking out. And so, one of the reasons why is because back in 2016, the EPA hired the best engineers in the world out of the Netherlands called Arcadis. They produced the Arcadis report that went into Tijuana and looked at all their systems. And they basically came up and they said, look, if Tijuana would just operate and maintain the equipment, we would reduce about 60% of our border flows. But they don't maintain it. They don't have the staff. They don't invest in maintenance. So this is an existing pipe that goes down to San Antonio de los Buenos. It can pump up to 72 million gallons down there. And all of Tijuana's watershed and sewer system comes down here. And that was established in 1985, almost 40 years ago. When they wanted the water, meaning Tijuana wanted the water from the Colorado River, they had no way to transport it, to get it here. But they used the All-American Canal, and Ronald Reagan says, great, put in a series of pumps that pumps the sewer down here. 1985, then Mexico, Tijuana started building that system, and they did build it. It's completed. But these pumps were built in 1985 with a population of 600,000 people. And the Arcadis report said this is a no-brainer. You need to improve these pumps. And so that's what they did. Our water in 2020 got very clean. And you can look at the water beach results and it shows that. And so, but when the new Biden administration came in, there's a county bill called the Needs and Assessments, and it's SB State Bill 507. It basically changed that plan. This is the old plan, which sends all the sewage down here, and yet now the plan is to send it all off Imperial Beach. And this week, about 5 days ago, that they had a break in Tijuana, and the IBWC plant had to dump this sewage untreated off Imperial Beach. And they dumped about 70 million gallons a day for like 5 days. And what that proved, because the river was dry. And I have pictures of that video that I sent that shows the river is dry. And then I went to the mouth of the sloughs, crystal clean. And then I went up to Coronado and it was yellow-brown. And that shows that that dumping all of Tijuana sewage off Imperial Beach, 3 miles, is absolutely the worst thing we can do, because the currents come north. And basically because of Point Loma, there's a cell, a current that because of the low pressure that's shielded by Point Loma, the water swings around. And so all the water here goes down. But this is so far south as San Antonio de los Buenos, it doesn't fall in that circular cell. It goes south. And so that's why about 90% of the time when these pumps are working, we have no ill effects from the water from Tijuana.
3 minutes.
Okay, and so this is what the Scripps experts found. They found that this cell rule goes around. And this is what the South Bay ocean outfall discharges, partially treated sewage in the ocean, will bring the sewage to shore. The experts found that sewage discharged from the outfall will rise to the surface. It's fresh water. It's lighter than salt water. It's warmer than down at 90 feet. And also, it's like this. So as the water comes in the cell, it rises to the surface. So it says it will rise to the surface, impact South Bay in undiluted amounts and pose threats to contamination. 20 years ago, the Scripps scientists predicted exactly what's going on right now. And so here are testing stations all along the beach. They test water. This is SAB. That there's one called Playas Blancas that's down here. And so they do this every week. Here's all the sites. Here's all the sites. Here's the toxicity. So basically at the border, and Playas del Tijuana is swimmable. But as you get close to Seacoast and the pier, look what's happening. This spot right here is the river. We expect the river to have a little bit of pollution. But this reading is 12. This is 150,000. I mean, this is 12,000. This is about 12 times greater, and there's no point source. It cannot be from the river. It cannot be from SAB. And so here's other months. It's consistent. It always does this. And so, so what do we know? That the immediate result of dumping the 200 in 2004 when we started, all our kelp beds died. It's an indicator that something's wrong. The current water testing we've been closed for over 1,000 days, 3 years. So we need to ask, why would we dump 480% sewage, more sewage, off Imperial Beach? That is our asset. When we want to go to the beach, we want to go to 11 miles of something that, like 5 years ago, was rated the best beach in the country. Now we can't use it. So so I'm trying to get it done here. So is there any question? Go.
So okay, it's gonna be like part of the question. Your idea from last time that you came, and has that changed before I continue to the next question? On the idea that you had for that Dearborn area, that you had like this plan.
Well, it has changed because there's more technology now. And so part of the thing is setting up a border water district that we would take the water because the water is valuable. So yes, it has changed because the price of water has skyrocketed. So our community, that could be a profit center for our community. So I hope that answers your question.
No,
Okay.
but that went to like the other questions, because before when you came, you told you wanted to make like the border patrol station and I think a soccer field, and then you wanted to sell the water coming from PG.
That's right.
Recycled. Is that still your idea?
I think that's a great thing that a planning group like this should consider, because if we have revenues of $150 million a year from selling the water, then that $150 million would come into the water district, and then they could build the infrastructure and whatever we want. I proposed a stadium. I proposed a school for the Corps of Engineers, like an engineering training school, where they would take care of maintaining the river, but we'd be training young people in the use of heavy equipment and things like that. I'm a contractor, so we don't have enough people trained in that. So yeah, I think that all those possibilities are there.
So,
That was controversial, because if you still have an idea of what you said before, I kind of disagree with it. But then when you talk about the Tijuana River Valley, how we can do something to stop it, I can agree with that. And I would like a presentation of kind of what your background is before this, because it's a new board, and I would love for them to
I would
know
love to be
your main idea before going to the sewer and all that. It's just for purposes of new boards, and they know what your kind of background
Right,
is.
and
what's the
what I'm
purpose
looking
of what you're
for
doing.
is a county park that's 3,800 acres with equestrian trails, with the charo, with all the charo rings that are there, is really embellish the experience and to build trails that, we have 82 miles of trails. Some of them are closed off. We should have them all open so that we could go for walks and ride horses. Yes?
2 questions. Last time you mentioned something about leasing some area, some space to the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
A lot of that got interpreted to ICE.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit where the conflict of understanding is. Can you please clarify that? Because that is a concern. The last thing we want is an
Well,
ICE
I went to school, and one of my best friends, he moved to South Carolina, and he trains the Border Patrol. He's already retired. He's old. And so they are looking for a place to put a Border Patrol university, a training campus. And so if it is federal lands, and if it is controlled by a water district, the water district could lease the land long-term and provide an income stream to the water district where there would be a training academy. But, you know, to give you an idea, that property is 152 acres. The Qualcomm Stadium is 112 acres. It's a huge area. And so there's multiple uses that it could be used.
No, I understand, but the last thing we want to do is have the risk or the potential or even a glimpse that it could turn into anything having to do with ICE. So that's one of the concerns, and I think that's where maybe the opposition may come in from people here at San Ysidro.
Right.
So if you could just kind of elaborate, she invited you for a next
Am I out of my
presentation.
3 minutes?
Just one more answer.
And then my second question is, what's the difference between the $8 million to reroute it in 3 months versus how much was spent with the air filters?
Well, in 2019, rerouting the river was estimated by the county. It was $8 million. That's just 6 years ago. And so that was part of that SB 507 plan. One of those projects was widening the river because it was flooding the ranches. And so it was part of lawsuits that had previously happened. So they incorporated. They never followed through with it. So now I think the county is saying it's going to cost $110 million to do that. But I worked on the trails. I'm a professional estimator. I've worked on the Bayshore Bikeway. I did the Bob Hope thing. I know construction. And so I've estimated it at $3 million just to get the river moved to the side so it goes in its natural path. 2 other people said, another contractor said 1.5 million, and another guy said 2. So I'm the high bidder. So that's the difference. Now, the air filters, that, you know, if we eliminate the cause of the smell, we don't need them.
You don't need the air filters. That's where I was going with
And also is that, you know, there's just a lot of benefits, you know. So you wanted.
Yeah. Thank you for your presentation. I personally have like one comment or question that I would ask you to. When you say ask our government, I think a lot of people might see like government as like abstraction. Be more precise. Like for a lot of people, they don't know what does it mean. They do like
the government,
your federal representative, your council member. You know what I mean? Because
so it's
let me finish this.
Okay.
Not everyone is in the actually same position to provide the help that must be provided. And if you don't specify and you're not precise, then again, people might call me tomorrow as a council rep, ask me to look into it, and obviously, like, there's something that I can do, right? So if there's someone precisely, right, that you have identified that can actually like move things along, right? Say that like such person at the EPA, such federal representative or whatnot, because the government, like, it's very abstract. That's all. It's just.
I understand it. I understand it. So obviously, we have the county that owns the land, the city that owns some of the roads. The city owns the roads. The county owns the joining property. The federal government owns a great deal of the property. And so that is, so those are the bodies that would be required. Now, Paloma Aguirre had in November proposed 4 different projects, or 5, excuse me. And so one of them was restoring the river, and majority of people want that. The people that live in the valley and around the valley like me, we go, wow, this restore it back to where it was. So she or the county, because it owns the land and has declared an emergency, could do this with the county and city. And why they would do it is they would say, this is a threat to the public health, and we do not need environmental review. This will be done in 3 months. It's a limited scope of work. All the lands that they're touching are compromised, meaning there's no unique environmental bugs or wildlife that are there. And also by using biological observers, they can work like I have worked in the valley. So that is what we do. Yes.
Are you talking about the same project you brought in about a year ago?
Well,
you pumped the influent project, why not? All the way up to, the entrance to.
That is one option. Yeah.
Do you still have that one? That project going?
Well, the county in 2000 and about the year 2000, in 1990, evaluated that idea of water reuse. It won out of 10 considerations of recycling cost. It was lower cost, easier to construct. It had all the advantages. So yeah, if in today's world with high energy demand, we can't, that if it pencils out, then that's what we want to do, because it's the best alternative considering all other factors. Because that water, that 1,800 square mile drainage does produce a vast amount of water, and we can utilize that water and keep our valley clean. Yes.
Excuse
me.
Oh, let's just Mr. Arredondo, and then we have to wrap up.
I know.
Okay, all I wanted to do is that we've listened to your proposals before, and I think that we all agree to get rid of the smell, get rid of the pollution, and I think that we should all get behind this ideas, Imperial Beach, Nestor, county, everybody, and I think we should voice our opinion and that are discussed with our current conditions, and I'm sure that Coronado and beyond, they're unhappy about it. So what's the holdup?
The holdup is that, we have Sandag, and Sandag has given you guys money, our community, millions of dollars in planning. It's sitting there, fees, that's
for roads, though.
Well, it's for conceptual of we should take some of that money and have these Nestor, OTI, and fund to look and do a study to go, okay, Leon, what's your plan? Okay, the IBWC, what is your plan? And look at what the county plan is. Put them up, throw them on the wall, and see what is the best alternative. And don't do it as a conceptual plan. To start penciling out the number. What is the water worth? How much will this cost? What are the best least environmental impact? I'm sorry, he wants to ask a question.
Is it going to be brief?
Yeah, be quick. How long will this actually take care of the problem? Is this a Band-Aid or is this actual solution?
It is a solution, because like I showed you with the river going by, and now instead of being stopped and carrying all that sediment to the mouth of the river, then in 1 or 2 years that develop. And so what you're going to do is you're going to do the first summer. You're going to let the water flow. It's going to expose all the concrete and tires.
You're not talking about the actual stuff that gets into the air.
Oh,
why
that's
we have-
gonna be
that's what-
happening immediately.
Yeah.
That will be
How-
solved.
How is that gonna be solved? It's like you're putting a river that's going through that you calculating sewage, but you're not calculating all the dumps from the companies that are there. So there's a lot of more pollution that you're calculating here than just the drainage from people using the bathroom. That's what my issue is with this.
Well, because essentially that basically history has shown that when the river was dry in the summer, a dry river does not produce smell.
Yeah, but you're talking about no chemicals.
Well, chemicals, basically like heavy metals and stuff, they're heavy, like lead or gold. They tend to fall down the bottom where those rocks and stuff basically scour the bottom. And so you really have a natural way to scour the bottom. Like I was saying, 65,000 concrete trucks in 24 days will scour that bottom. And that goes a long way to taking this material out to the ocean. And the wave action is the most thorough and, basically cleans it. And so
forever chemicals also get extinct with this.
Well, it depends on what they are.
Because you're talking about metals, but we're talking about chemicals.
Yeah, forever chemicals are those that are designed by man to basically not decay. They're not naturally occurring. Sewage decays and gets consumed.
Correct.
Almost everything in the natural world gets consumed because that's what our God-given is done for us. And so natural, like man-made chemicals, right, but that's the source problem. That is in Tijuana where they're using those.
How many of the companies are owned by Americans?
I built them down there. No, but I'm saying.
Well, let's,
what I'm saying is,
it's a good transition.
That's just not. But to solve the problem is that you need to identify those companies and reinstall. When I worked down there building clean rooms for Sherwood Medical, we had a program that everything, and this was the way it would work. Anything that was chemical that you produced had to be returned to the United States. So we followed that plan. We followed it. So the U.S. companies in that era were doing the right thing.
So you want to do it back?
Well, now there's China, there's all kinds of foreign companies that don't care. But I want to just say that when I worked down there, we had trucks coming back to the United States, and we had industrial disposal systems that covered that. And so, that's what we need to reintroduce. And even in the reports that the city of San Diego, they want to reintroduce that in Tijuana. Is that,
Thank you so much, Mr.
Sorry,
Leon.
sorry, everybody.
I really like the conversations, and if you have like specific questions, I invite you all to talk like separately. We do want to share the information, but we do have to continue the meeting going. Do you have a question not related to the presentation?
No, I would just want to say, I want to second Olga's recommendation to invite him back for more, maybe like a second part 2.
Okay, then I'll add him to the agenda unless anybody opposes. I'm sorry?
Lo voy a decir en español.
Sí.
Vienen y nos traen unas propuestas. El mes pasado, la supervisora del condado hizo otras propuestas. ¿Por qué no se juntan ellos y que salga una propuesta nueva?
Claro.
A nosotros nos cansan porque viene gente nueva que no sabe, pero las que ya estamos aquí, ya es una y otra cosa.
Then I will take that into consideration. Basically, what she was saying is, why don't we partner up with Supervisor Aguirre's office and perhaps a co-joint presentation or something like that? Because she describes that it can be very tiring. We had a presentation by the Supervisor Aguirre, I think 2 months before your presentation. So in this one, so it's like the same thing. So basically, maybe a co-joint because it's just like one person is saying one thing and the other one. So why don't we work together? But I will call you and we can figure out, like perhaps Andres, if we can coordinate something. Okay? Perfect. Now we're gonna move to item 5A, which is the elected officials and public servants. Let's start with Mr. Eddington. You know the drill, 5 minutes and 2 questions.
It'll be quick. I just wanted to remind everyone that I got a lot of participation for National Night Out from residents in the communities of Ysidro Palm City. I'd like more Ysidro residents to make it. We have the biggest National Night Out event. It's been said that in the state, but for sure county and city. National Night Out is a day, the first Tuesday of August, in which we just kind of highlight the partnership between community and law enforcement. We get about 3,000 residents that show up. I have SWAT vehicles there, classic police vehicles, and it's a lot of fun. Hot dogs for free, drinks. We have food distribution running at the same time. About 50 community resource booths available, and it starts with a community walk at 4:15 p.m. on August 4th. I'd love to see a lot of the faces that I see here. So it starts with a community walk. It's very tame pace. It's about 0.9 miles just around the block at 1885 Coronado Avenue. If anyone here is familiar with the area, it's the Robert Egger Park. And so it's a 1 mile run, and then we have VIPs there. Typically, Mayor Todd Gloria is there, some other elected local leaders on the state as well. Just kind of gives some welcoming remarks, and then you can just go, hang around, have a good time, visit each booth. I also encourage this group, if you're interested, you were just mentioning having booths and doing some more outreach, you can set up a free booth. We provide a table and 2 chairs, and if you bring your own canopy, just have some overhead protection. That'd be great to see you. If you do have interest in it, just send me an email, and I'll put you together with the resident community member who helps us greatly to pull that off. It's Rodell Reyes, if anyone's familiar with it.
Rodell Reyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But send me an email, and I'll put you in contact with them. I'd love to see you guys there August 4th. I can say that date.
So August 4th is starting at 4 p.m. with the community walk.
Yeah, 4:15 p.m. It typically runs till about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
4 to 8 p.m.
No.
And that's it, unless anyone has any questions.
Well, we stay there till 10.
Questions?
Yes.
Anybody has a question for the officer? One, anyone, second, and third person? Anybody? Third, okay, Mrs. Espinosa?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
The crime rate on Butter Trolley Station, any reports on like stolen vehicles or broken anything in that area?
I've gotten one request for additional patrol, which I actually just opened today, and it was regarding that. It was the high theft break-ins at the fire trolley. Yeah, just one so far. Not reports, actual just requests on top of reports, but I'll look that up. And just, if anyone doesn't know, crimemapping.com is tapped into the same system that officers use. It's the ARGIS system. And so believe it or not, it's incredibly accurate. Crimemapping.com, you can punch in your address or, for example, buyer trolley station. It's very user-friendly. You can actually filter it down to like that location, half a mile from that location, 1 mile, etc. And you'll get the same results that I will looking at my law enforcement program, ARGIS. So it's very accurate. Good way to kind of know what's going on in your community.
Perfect. Ms. Castañeda?
Okay. How often do you have this event? Is it every month, the national walk, the national night out?
Oh, no, that's exhausting.
Okay.
I think it's once a year.
Once a year?
And it's always the first Tuesday of.
So it's a yearly event?
Yeah.
Yearly event, okay, just so I could add it to my calendar. What other events do you have that we may be able to support and participate?
Yeah, we do quite a bit throughout the year, and I typically will come here and mention them. To give you guys plenty of time, coffee with a top. Yeah.
Do you have a calendar that we could tap into?
There's a calendar that's open to look into it. I'll ask around for that, but I will advertise it. I'll come here and I'll talk about it well in advance of the date of the event, especially if it has a nexus to the community.
Yeah.
Like a San Ysidro event.
And do you have like a social media we could follow or to
Yeah,
get?
the department does.
It's on the department level?
We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. There's some interesting things on there. They highlight some resources that we have, special cases, things like that.
Okay.
Ms. Palestina?
Do you know what happened earlier today when I was driving over here to grab some donuts? There was like 5 cops outside, like across from Yum Yum Donuts. Oh, right here on San Ysidro Boulevard, across the Southwestern College.
No, I don't know what happened. Today was today was a really driving day. We had a call in which I don't want to release any information, it's very sensitive, but what I will say is just general advice. Summer is starting. Please be very cautious and mindful if you have a pool on your property.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Of just, having it protected, making sure that dogs, children can't go inside the pool. You want to be on the side of caution. You take every precaution you can. I understand you can't control everything, but for sure try to do your best.
Well, thank you so much, Officer Eddington. We appreciate it. Now we're gonna move, I know Liliana, you requested to go right now. So yeah, Liliana, you have 5 minutes and 3 questions.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you all and see all the new faces on the board. Yes, as always, you can contact our office and contact me by email or phone for any state related issues, any state departments. Feel free to contact us. And then as far as legislative updates, AB 35 passed the Senate Natural Resources and Water Committee yesterday. And this bill ensures that Proposition $4 reach communities faster, whether it's to protect families from wildfire or to prevent further harm from cross-border pollution. So this will be an opportunity for organizations to apply for grant funding for any projects to address the Tijuana River Valley crisis. So if any organization can apply. I believe the official window to apply opens tomorrow, and it will close by the end of August. So the water board will rank the projects and determine who gets the funding. And there will be having a webinar with more information on June 24th for any individuals interested in this funding application. What location? It's online. It's a virtual webinar, so I can send out the information for the details. Yes. Mhm. Yes, and yes, I can continue bringing updates as bills move forward in the Senate, because they're now in the Senate for further consideration. Thank you.
Any questions? Ms. Espinosa, second. Anybody wants to ask a question? Third? Well, no, there's. Okay, Ms. Espinosa.
Thank you for all the updates. Is there any upcoming assembly bill or state bill that Mr. Alvarez is pushing forward at the moment, or that he has projected?
Yes, so he has those right now. I can't remember the number right now, but yes, and I can provide a list. I can send it out. That would be more helpful because then I can provide like a detailed information.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ms. Espinosa.
Just question, is he coming to town anytime soon?
He is in Sacramento right now. He will be back in the district for summer recess, but then he will be here like in a limited time because he does have some business trips. But then in the fall he will be here more time. Yeah, so I can definitely pass on the message to him.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna move on to Mr. Morales. Morales is here, so Mr. Cagaris, do you wanna go? I got 5 minutes.
He's ready to go. Hey, he's been ready.
Okay, so I want to stay for a little bit and leave, but this meeting is quite good, so. I want to stay actually, right? So there we go. I'm gonna make the most of my time, so let's go. So number one, to address something that Mr. Plasencia said. If you don't know, I don't know if this is raised like again, but get it done. We have in the district, in the Southway, the lowest incidence of like participation. Officer Eddington always mentions it, but the people that developed the app, Panda, they ask us like, what's going on with DA? Like they do not report. People will call my office like, hay un bache enfrente de mi casa, da, da, da. I'm like, sir, have you reported it? No. I'm like, well, that's kind of the issue. We really, really need to like promote like, get it done use for like community engagement and so on. It's so important. Moving on.
Regarding what?
Get it done. So like reportable issues. It's like an app that's developed by the city of San Diego, and you can report like potholes, graffiti, and like parking violations. All kind of issues.
Can I steal 5 of your seconds?
Of course.
Just to give you a real-time example, I have the app on the officer side. South of the 905, there is one. That has a police nexus.
Yep.
And I know there's more problems than that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So again, quite frustrating, but please help us at any single report that you submit, really like, and if it's not attended, send us an email and we'll escalate. That's a lot of what we do. Okay. I usually, to address something that Ms. Castaneda, correct, was saying, ask your community rep for this information that you're asking about. Like he should provide, right, as I think I do for a tennis semester, all the events that are happening at libraries, all the events that are happening at parks, all the events that are happening, like from their report, you should have a clear idea of everything that's going on in San Ysidro over the next month. If it isn't the case, like tell them, like, hey, we want to see that information in the report and so on. If you can, please pass it around. I brought one copy of my report to Hotel Semester, so it's close by, but it's not San Ysidro. But hopefully, sí, ese por favor.
Pero queremos el de San Isidro, ¿no?
Yeah, justamente eso es lo que estoy diciendo. Yo soy para el segundo semester, but a lot of the events that I'm actually like promoting here, I mean, they're nearby, and hopefully you can like take advantage of them. They're on Montgomery Waller, they're at Robert Egger, they're some even are in Chula Vista, and I still promote them because I feel that you might want to take advantage of it. It's not because it's happening in Chula Vista that you want to know about it. Just personal opinion. Okay, super quick. I only have my time left. For you might be interested. We have a deadline of June 30th for a San Diego Artist Incubator. So actually, please, if you can, just keep passing like the report around. I did send it to Christian, and hopefully he can share it with you. If you have any, like, take a look. It's a lot of pages, like 27. But if you have any questions, let me know. Like, send me an email, like, hey, I want to know more about this or whatever. Okay. It's all the events that are happening, like, again, semester and Chula Vista nearby over the next month. At the libraries, at the parks, and just like a bunch of stuff. Okay. I do want to give a few updates regarding actual like city-related updates. So super quick. As you might know, I'm sure a lot of people are happy about it. The trash fees, it went like to a lawsuit, and the city council just voted to reduce them to the original proposed like amount, the one that was voted on, on the ballot, which is like 29. I have an article about this like in my report, but basically it's not going to happen now or next fiscal year. It's going to be implemented in July 1st, 2027. It's crazy. I know.
No.
It's just the way it is, but it was approved. It is delayed. It will be implemented in 2027. Also, there's a super interesting article that came out on the San Diego Union Tribune. It says, got a parking ticket in San Diego, city must pay more than $16 million to drive state with late penalties. So if you were ticketed in the city of San Diego, you might be actually, private to some like monies. Just take a look at the article and review it. And if you personally apply, or if you know somebody that might apply, just share that information. As many things, people just might not know about it. Yeah, there's also another interesting report. It's unclaimed monies. So the Department of Finance like publishes like a long list of monies that they owe to businesses, to individuals. I tried to take a look, and if I recognize like a business that I know is in District 8 or a name, I will actually like reach out and let them know. Of course, it's hard because it's a lot of names, but take a look. You might have some money there. And well, yeah. And one of the biggest like actually great updates that I want to give is, as you know, in the budget that was approved yesterday, they actually preserved library and rec center hours, which was one of the main things that council members were worried about. I mean, we can talk about it for a long time, but just the update is that all the parks in District 8, so I have the list right here, but it's basically all of them. Montgomery Waller, Robert Egger, San Isidro Senior Center, San Isidro Teen Center, Silver Wing, Larson Field, they're all staying at their like regular 60 or 45 hours per week, which again, we're super happy about. And again, that's pretty much, yeah. So, any questions?
Espinosa, Ms. Castañeda, one more person? Anybody wants to use Ms. Perez?
Any information on the buyer part?
So,
I was running by and.
No. I staffed Councilman Moreno a few weeks ago. We actually went with the engineering team to just take a look at the works and whatnot. It's moving forward. They're fully funded for phase 1. They're going to have like this San Diego FC kind of like funded soccer field and whatnot. I think I want to give incorrect information that phase 2 is not fully funded yet. So we need to make sure that, monies are going to be put towards it. But it already started. Like the process is already engaged. So basically it's just about making sure that, we don't drop the ball. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic, beautiful park. If you have any specific questions, so let me know.
Do you think it will be done like within 10 years?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm saying, could it be like 50 years?
No, we know.
I do want my daughter to be there.
It's true. She.
No, they go Victor, but it's fine.
I have a couple of black
Yes.
trash cans
Yes.
that I bought from the city of San Diego.
Yes, sir.
They only replaced one.
Yes.
Can you get the second one replaced?
So, okay, I do like, I'm actually, ESD is my forte. So you should have created an account on the new waste management portal, right? Where you selected basically the new amount of bins that you wanted. If they replaced only one, it's probably because you selected or they gave you like the standard one of each, right? If you need more, then you need to go through the portal and request more, and then they're gonna replace the other ones. please mind, and again, don't shoot the messenger, that you are going to get charged based on the amount of containers that you have. So
Think about it.
yeah. So really choose like what you need and not more, because you're going to be paying in vain. So again, but yeah.
The other question is there going to be a phase 3 on the park?
Phase 3 on buyer?
From the workers.
On buyer?
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's only phase 2, but again, I'm saying this respectfully. I'm not very knowledgeable about like San Ysidro projects because I'm usually more on OCMS and Esther, but engage it formally. Just send an email to Rodrigo. It's like, hey, is there a phase 3? And then he's going to send the email to Parks and Rec and get back to you. As easy as, like, that's our job. That's literally what we do. So just send him an email and
That's
ask.
what the workers tell me.
Okay.
It might be a phase 3. And
Okay.
It might be the bathrooms, working on the bathrooms.
Okay. Again, I don't know. I don't have any information about that. I know there's a phase 2. I don't know about any phase 3. I really don't.
Perfect. Ms. Castañeda?
2 parts. I want to elaborate on what he said. They did the same thing to us, where we have 5 units or 5 trash cans. We paid for the trash cans, so we paid what, $700 for those trash cans. They took them, only replaced 1. They, and out of courtesy, they should at least, if you own them and they're not city, they should have at least left them. That's 1. So yes, I have a gripe with that as well. 2, when you and Mr. Eddington post stuff, can we make it to where you maybe tag the planning groups?
Do you have like a social media account?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I think that will help disseminate a lot of the information to the community. We're actually getting pretty up there with followers. A lot of people actually send us messages and they're like, hey, or they'll ping us individually, like what's going on. I think that would be very helpful to get more. You want more of San Ysidro to participate. Well, a lot of people are funneling to the page.
Yeah. No, that's a super easy ask. I think, yeah, we should absolutely do it.
And you could do like
address-
you could do multiple communities. That way it's just not just one, but any planning group in the South Bay, and then we could just work as a network.
Absolutely. May I address the trash thing? Again, I don't want to push back. It's always super controversial, like that specific thing. But when you had your 5 containers previously, okay, you paid for them, right? And they didn't repay the money afterwards. That's another issue. But basically, once you had them, you weren't paying for like the trash collection. When the new system got implemented, because you're paying per container, basically, if you didn't select or let the city know that I actually want those 5 and get charged on 5, they're going to replace 1 and give you like the baseline. You can get 5, definitely. You can like go through the portal and request like the replacement of the others. But as I said, just mind that you're going to be charged like 5 times. So I don't know if you want that, but if that's okay because you produce like as much waste, like where you live and so on, then you can request it. But it's just that they didn't want to make the switch on behalf of people, right? And then charge them as much because it would probably have been like too much and like confusing and so on. But it can still be.
So with me, it was more the coordination because those cans could be used for other things. You could use them for recycling and then dump them in the recycle when it's overflows. So they're our property. They had no right to come and take them and say, oh, too bad, we already crushed them or we did what we did. No, if you can't do it, then at least provide a credit. Because in your system, you should have known that those were not your property. So they destroyed other people's property.
City of San Diego claims, again, don't shoot the messenger, that it is City of San Diego property. That's ESD stance. I'm not saying that, I'm saying that they're saying that, right?
When I called, they told me that when you buy them, they're yours.
Oh, really?
Yes. They issue one, but if you buy additional ones, they're yours.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
I was actually told something different from that. They told me you can't remove them from the address, you can't take them with you. They belong to that household and they have to be there because we had a trash can that was like somewhat broken and they're like, no, we have to take it. Liability and all this. I was like, but we are buying the trash can. And he's like, well, you don't own it. Instead he owns it, and they explained to me the whole process. I was like, kind of like same thing with Victor. It's like he's
No, these were fairly new.
Yeah. Oh, well,
so they were in
that's
perfect condition.
unfortunate, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Campbell. It's always good to have you here. Now we have Mr. Barreto. You know the drill, 5 minutes to questions.
I love this energy.
Me too. I wanted to thank him too. Super hyped. I've never met him.
So my name is Andres Cruz Barreto. I am with the County of San Diego, Board of Supervisors, District 1, Paloma Aguirre. Some of the updates that I have for you, the most important one is that today there was a vote at the California Coastal Commission in order to permit and start essentially the Saturn Boulevard hotspot, the culverts. There's going to be the additional piping put on those in order to make so that the aerosolization goes away. The timeline for this, spring 2027. So less than a year away. You know, when, as far as government is concerned, that's light speed, right? The gentleman that was here, he brought up a lot of stuff, and I want to push back on some of it, but essentially, we're in the process of making this work, right? The supervisor came into office with solutions, we're implementing those. If you have questions, I'm free to take them after. Following that, there's going to be an economic study that was commissioned. We know that home prices have gone down. We know that businesses have suffered. We know that tourists don't come down here because of the sewage, because of the smells. We're going to go ahead as a county, and we're doing a survey. Essentially, anybody who lives within the area, of the affected area, you guys are free to go ahead, and I'll send the link to Christian to go ahead and fill out this survey. Tell us what has been happening with your lives, whether you own a business, whether you feel unsafe in your home and that they're trying to sell your home and the price has gone down and no one wants to buy it. If you've noticed that there's been not an uptick, but a lowering of customers at your business, right? So we want to know that information because we can take that information, we can tell the state government, we can tell the federal government, this is an actual problem. These are the people that are being affected, and we need funding. We need to fix this problem at the border, right? If you're a landlord, if you haven't been able to have tenants, if you had to lower your rent, whatever, we want that information, right? And then those studies are going to be released in fall of this year. So they're currently going on. Please take them. Every voice counts. Then we have had some pretty good community engagement recently. I don't know if you've had calls from the supervisor. We've had teletown halls. Has anybody been able to listen in on these?
Yeah, they're really good.
All right. Well, the latest one that we're going to have is going to be around housing. The previous one was around affordability. We've had about 11,000 people on each of these calls listening to what the county's doing to help everyday members of the public with these issues. I know that the municipality-owned utility is actually a really great idea because that does lower your monthly spending. Your bills have gone up exponentially. If you do look at other municipalities that do own their power, it's cheaper. Even if you have to buy whatever it is, it's going to be cheaper in the end because it's not a for-profit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even that little thing on the top.
Even that little thing on the top.
Millions and millions.
I would say that you guys need to put an SDG&E bill on your presentation and show people what they're paying for line by line.
Distribution is a big part. You'll save in your line and your bills, distribution charge is more than half.
Part two?
And that's their golden cash cow.
Yeah. Anyways, regardless, that's one way that affordability, can be addressed. Then we've had a board and commission social recently at the county. This is a board, right? This is a community planning group. If you guys want to get involved with things that are happening at the county, we have commissions for the arts. We have commissions for public safety. We have commissions for veterans. We have commissions for seniors. If you want to get involved, please contact me. We have the ability to give you all the information that you need to make a successful candidate and to apply for those boards and commissions. And each district gets their own appointees. So we want to get to know you, and we want you to know what the supervisor is all about. And then finally, we have the pride flag raising at the county building on the 26th of June, since June is Pride Month, and that's going to be at 8 a.m. Everybody is welcome to come. Is there any questions, concerns, comments?
Mr. Morrison, Mr. Gonzalez, and Mrs. Delgadillo.
Oh, wow. On time.
Mr. Morrison.
So you mentioned, prices going down on homes and alleviating the smell. I think homeless problem is a big issue here.
Yeah.
And, I know that you say get it done app, but I personally reported so much stuff on getting it done app. And I know you're understaffed and there's a lot of things.
we don't hear from anybody, and sometimes they come and, oh, the issue is done because it, you know, you reported 3 days ago, and by the time people come, that's why people don't report it, because there's no follow-up. I've also seen it where, you know, they send a picture of something else where it wasn't where you reported it. So part of that is safety, homelessness, parking. Parking is a big issue. You know, it used to be a neighborhood where it was only homes. Now everybody's building these massive, monstrous things with no parking. Yeah, so, you know, in front of my house, they built 3 different spots for handicapped people. Every single night, there's people parked, blocking the runs. I called it, police came, I talked to him, and he's like, well, the directive is if there's a little space where they can kind of get by, don't cite them. That's what the police officer told me. So, you know, then it's like, well, what the heck, why do I need to report it? And they're not gonna do anything about it. So I think the directive has to change to enforce something, not just show up and be like, oh, you know, we saw it, we didn't do anything about it. There's liquor bottles like thrown all over the place, broken, you know, people drinking in the streets, racing down every single street. And again, I reported a ton of stuff, and then I just gave up because there's no follow-up.
If I could just speak to that real quick, that would be not the attitude you want to take, right? And I only say that because if you make these reports on the Get It Done app, or you call the non-emergency line, or you call because there's a red curb violation, whatever the case may be, and the response does not fit for what you think is appropriate, the answer would not be not to call anymore. I talked about this before at other meetings, and this one I think as well. If you get frustrated and you don't call after that one noise complaint wasn't handled the way you thought was an adequate way to handle it, and you don't report things in the future, then those problems do not exist, right? And so when allocations for resources, which are very tight, you mentioned it, it is true, they're very tight. We're about 1,000 officers short for what we should have based on radio call volume and population. And so with those challenges, resources are very tight. And the way they're going to be allocated when they do become available is based on that data, even if it's bad data. And the bad data is delayed responses to calls. Get it done that take 5 weeks to finish. I think right now we average about 2 weeks for an encampment get it done response. So yeah, please do not be discouraged. That's the only thing I would ask of you as a person who advocates for this community. I've been policing here for 18 years. Don't get discouraged to the point where you don't call anymore. You don't submit that get it done. Even the bad data is good data, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry for taking your time. I apologize, but it's just my plea to you.
I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying this is what the community is seeing, right? It's
for
like
sure.
If I call, if nothing's happening, people are just giving up.
I mean, my only response to that is I hear you. I understand. Unfortunately, the jurisdiction is on the city of San Diego. There's not a lot I can do with that. We do have, at the county, we have Health and Human Services that do go out into the community and help the homeless populations, and provide housing in unincorporated areas. And there was recently a board letter passed to institute the Housing Trust Fund in order to spur contractors and companies to build more housing and more affordable housing. With parking, sure, that does have to do with the city. You know, they've been okaying a bunch of ADUs and stuff that don't necessarily need additional parking. So I hear you, but that is a city of San Diego issue.
No, I'm not saying it's your issue. I just mentioned it because
you're
you
right.
said it's just the smell. It's not just the smell. It's
No, you're
all
right. You're right.
the
Definitely.
They're bringing down.
I think you're right. It's not just the smell. For the new research that you guys are doing, the studies.
Yeah.
What exactly are you guys looking for? Like, it's just people saying what their symptoms are, or what they're feeling from the smell, or what is it that it's going to be a multiple choice, or are you going to be able to write in whatever is going on with your life, or how is that?
Yeah, there's a few different studies. The one that I was referencing is the economic impact study, right? If you're a business owner, you can write, you know, last year we had this much revenue. Now this year we have this much revenue. We have so many less people coming through the store. If you're a home,
life loss.
I'm sorry?
Life loss.
Life loss?
Not losing life too. Because I've had 2 family members that
that lost within 2 months of each other, and they happen to live in the same area where all this stuff is going on. So I don't think it's not correlated.
Oh, first of all, I'm very sorry to hear that.
I feel like we're really underestimating what this is. So we need to start getting this to take care of.
We as a community understand what's happening, right? We smell it, we see it, people have respiratory issues, people are getting cancer. We know that that's happening, but that's just anecdotal, right? You can't prove that those things are affecting you, right?
I got my people, bro.
I hear you. That's why we're conducting like a health study as well.
Yeah, but how many studies does it take for us to do change? I mean, how many studies have you guys done since it's been an issue? No, since you started seeing it as an issue.
That's a great question. Yeah, but the one that it wasn't an issue until fairly recently, right? In the past,
because you couldn't hide it no more.
Right. And in previous administrations, they kind of swept it under the rug, but we're putting it out front. We want to make sure that this is getting to the highest echelons of government. Therefore, these studies do make a difference, right? You can go with concrete evidence. In the health study, we're going to be tracking people over a certain amount of time. They're going to be going to the doctor. They're going to be going to clinics. They're going to be taking hair samples. They're going to be really understanding, going to the raw data to be like, this is physical, right?
For example, stepfather, his dad, 106. He died at 70 because he moved to San Ysidro. So there's a big correlation to what's going on with this pollution, because it's not just sewage.
Right.
There's chemicals that are in the air that we are breathing in, that we're being exposed to. So we need to be cautious, very on this, because it's taking lives.
It's not just the pollution from the Tijuana River, it's also the diesel particulates that are coming from the border crossings. It's the pollution coming from the maquiladoras. It's factories, it's everything. There was a study done pretty recently that San Diego has some of the worst air in the country.
But it was probably because it was La Jolla that had it. You know what I'm saying? Not San Ysidro. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, the resources are not getting reached out. That's all I got to say.
Miss Delgadillo.
Rapidito, Andrés. Tomé fotos de mi medidor de la luz, precisamente porque un mes antes de que me subieran el recibo de luz, el del agua venía $100 más alto que el mes anterior. Le tomé foto, hablé y dice la persona, espéreme un poquito. Ay, disculpe, es error humano, le vamos a mandar su bill nuevo. Sí, es exactamente como el otro. Entonces le tomé de la luz y tuve a la oficina.
Sí.
Como ya es pago directo y paperless, si no se fija uno,
Es la misma cosa que pasa en mi casa también, es la verdad. She's saying that she was speaking with the water bill and she took a photo of her meter and essentially
Electricidad, ¿verdad?
this one is electric, right? But also también con el agua.
Un mes antes también me tomé el del agua,
Del agua, sí.
y hablé, y eran $100 más que me estaban cobrando de lo que me cobraban cada 2 meses. $100.
I could second that because they were charging us $700,
Yeah.
and the bill should be 2 something.
Yeah.
And I had got to do a study, and I haven't paid the last 2 water bills because they haven't billed me. So who knows how many thousands I've overpaid.
Yeah, that's an issue as well. Unfortunately, that is completely separate from SDG&E.
But it's a pattern.
Yeah, no, you gotta stay on top of it, but I will note that water prices are rising quite substantially.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cruz Barreto. Now we're going to have do we have a representative from Senator Padilla's office?
Yeah, let's see.
So the drill, 5 minutes, 3 questions.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Bethany Palladian with the Office of Senator Steve Padilla. I have a few updates for today. So the legislature has till June 15th, so 5 days to pass the budget. We submitted 3 budget requests. I don't know if we're gonna get them, but I'll tell you which ones they are. So the first one is up to $23 million for Southern Boulevard, which we worked with his office, $5 million for the air purifiers, and then $2 million for the trash boom projects. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the trash room project, but basically they're the trash rooms that capture about like 80% of the waste at the river, and their funding ends in November. So we're trying to find funding for them. that's the budget. 5 days. I don't know if they'll get passed, but I'll keep you guys updated. And then for bills, we have 11 bills that are now in the assembly. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll tell you guys like the most important ones that I think you guys should know. So we have SB 58, and SB 58 addresses the hydrogen sulfide pollution and exposure in the Tijuana River Valley and in Imperial County. So the California Air Resources Board standard for hydrogen sulfide is 30 parts per billion, and we've all seen, maybe not we've all seen, but there's studies that show that 30 parts per billion gets exceeded regularly, and the state doesn't really do anything about it, which is horrible because as you said, people are getting sick, and then also the state standard years ago, it was a nuisance, considered like a nuisance, not really anything that had to do with health. So we're kind of fighting that. We're talking to WIHA, we're talking to CARB, to the San Diego Air Pollution Control District, to South Coast AQMD, because the Salton Sea also has hydrogen sulfide issues. We're talking to who else? The scientist, Dr. Paula Granada-Stigler, and Dr. Kim Prather from UCSD. It's obviously a huge issue. We're very passionate about it. So am I. So we're trying to see what happens with that. That bill will be heard on the 22nd of June in the Assembly Toxic Materials Committee. And then we have a resolution, SJR 13. So basically what that does, it's a resolution, but it urges the U.S. to kind of it urges the United States to use the USMCA renewal, which is the 1st of July, as an opportunity to bring in the TRV into the USMCA renegotiations. So the USMCA, it's a trade agreement, but what we are arguing is that obviously we have American companies in Tijuana, maquiladoras, and their industrial waste, and they're profiting from, economic boom and trade in the border at our expense, right? So if you're going to renew the USMCA, the TRB should be considered and should, maybe dedicate funding for it as it was 5 years ago in this USMCA renewal. And if that doesn't happen, then we're advocating for the USMCA to not be renewed. And that one will be heard on June 16th, which is this Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. in the Natural Resources Committee in the Assembly. And then I guess other bills that might be of interest, we have SB 941, which would limit profiteering in ice detention facilities. And basically, I'll give you guys an example. So tuna cans sold at an ice detention facility are 300% more than they are in, say, like Target or just your local market. So we're targeting that issue. And then we have SB 420, which is an interesting one. That one's new, but basically what that would do, it would stop nonprofits that are working with or connected to ICE facilities from declaring like a charitable property tax exemption. So those are some of our bills, and
Espinosa second, anybody was, Castañeda, any third person? Martinez?
I just want a little clarification. We said how much for the air purifiers?
5 million.
5 million. All right, thank you.
Espinosa and Castañeda. Okay, Espinosa, Ms. Espinosa.
Okay, so I'm for the International Border Community Steering Committee, and it doesn't seem to focus on what their purpose is. I've gone through multiple communities within this area with other nonprofits, and all there is studies. There's no action, there's nothing going on, and I'm happy with Paloma because she's doing a lot on her own. But my thing is, Mr. Padilla, can he ever make a committee for San Ysidro residents where we can do something out of this community? Because I see a lot of things like on that side over there, like Saturn or Hollister. But what's up with San Ysidro? There's a lot of leaks just from the border to like even Las Americas, and no one ever talks about that. And that this is our community. I understand it goes to the ocean, like what La Jolla, even J Street's getting some pollution right there. In Pearl Beach, Coronado, but what about us here in San Ysidro? This is a community. And a lot of people seem to forget that we are a community. We're District 8, but we're not up there like Logan, Sherman, whatever. And we're in San Ysidro, and I wish that somebody could pay attention to all the leaks that are coming down here. No one's going to treat that. That's going to stay in our soil forever. Nobody cares. Like, and since you're talking about Tijuana, the valley and everything, what's up with San Ysidro? Like, I get it. All these billions of dollars for Saturn. Like, a lot of people are throwing money to that area. That's a lot of money. But what about us down here? And if there's any way you can start a committee here with Senator Padilla and start something with us, we have people here, we can start a movement, and like, we are the first community right off the border. That fixes a lot. And like, please don't forget about this community. They changed our name already, our zip code, but there's people living here. You can send a message if we are in a state of emergency. And I know that he knows that. And just don't forget about us. There's a lot of leaks just down here, and no one's treating that at all. Nobody even talks about it. And that kind of hurts me a lot. Because I see billions and billions, but nothing comes here. Just pass that word, please.
I'll pass that word, perfect. And then we work a lot with Paloma's office, just by the way.
They're good.
Regularly.
They're good.
But we'll pass the message.
Thank you.
Ms. Castañeda?
That was my question. Are you working earlier? Somebody mentioned, actually, Ms. Eladios mentioned about everybody's kind of like working on their own. Why is it that you guys are not kind of all liaisoning together?
No,
Like-
we are, I promise. It doesn't
Okay.
seem like it,
Mhm.
but I've been in this role for a year and I talk to their office probably like once a week.
Every day.
Every day.
Okay.
I call them. I call them all the time and they call me too, and we work a lot. And everything that I've just mentioned, we've talked to them. I'll take your concerns, your comments, and then we'll continue to work for you guys because obviously it's an important community. That's why I'm here. You know, I want to work with you guys and we do work with them.
How
And
about
not
like-
just the
How about
county.
like Mr. Leon? Like, he's been very passionate. He's been very persistent. And I know people kind of get tired of hearing the same story over and over. One of the reasons that I felt it was important for him to come, because we have a lot of new members that may not be up to speed with everything that's going on. So I wanted to kind of educate and refresh everybody. Do you work with any like conservative organizations?
I work with all the advocacy groups here. I've
Okay.
worked with Leon. I've seen him in many community meetings. And yes, we do work together.
Okay. And then the other thing, ICE detention facilities.
Mhm.
What's being done to improve? I know there's a lot of buzz on like the conditions. You know, they're not letting representatives in to do inspections and all
Mhm.
that stuff. Where does that stand?
So that's a little bit difficult given that we're the state. So we're doing what we can, which are like the bills that I
Mhm.
mentioned, but that really falls into the federal government. And so I think that question is better directed to federal representatives from Schiff's office or from Alex Padilla's office, but I can definitely reach out to them because I know there's nobody here from their office. So.
But I can answer that question. So recently there was a federal ruling that the county, since it's technically like a county
Mhm.
jurisdiction, that the county's top health officer is going to be able to go into the Otay Mesa detention facility and do an inspection.
So
Is that what
basically-
you're referring to?
Yes, and thank you for that information. So basically, they go and do an inspection.
Yes.
They see deplorable conditions. I'm sure they'll try to clean it up as much as they can, but no matter how much they clean it up, I'm sure they'll find something. What happens then? What are the consequences? What are the repercussions? Do they just kind of go inspect and say, oh my God, this is just horrible, horrible, and walk away? Or is there a plan in place to actually do something for the people in those deplorable conditions?
I think those are two separate things, right? One is the inspection, one is forcing, so essentially right now it's Core Civic that
Mhm.
runs the detention facility for ICE, right? They're a private company. It's like the federal government, like Artemis mentioned, would have the jurisdiction over
Mhm.
forcing them to do something. But the county can go in and say like, this is not acceptable. But the mechanism in order to force somebody to do something, that's where we would have to do a little more research.
In my mind, it's a little bit hard to comprehend because I guarantee you, if she had a dog in deplorable conditions and wasn't being fed and was living in filth and stuff, she would probably get arrested and she'll probably be in jail.
Of course,
and charged.
immediately.
So why are everything so? Why aren't humans that valuable?
Thank you.
Yeah, the fight that you're having in the words that you're saying right now is you against Donald Trump and the Homeland Security Department. What we, the people, and through the representatives and county, when COVID happened, you saw the county man, Nathan Fletcher, right? Because county has authority over anything health. And so we want to investigate anything that we can with Donald Trump and don't look at happening with immigration because it's wrong. So we need to get as much dirt on him as possible, but they're denying us access to the facility because they want intentionally to hide everything. And so it's difficult when, I mean, I can't just walk into the police department and go anywhere I want, just as much as you can't walk into the detention center, because there's armed guards and everything, right? So the county is just trying to push the Core Civic and Trump administration to physically let us in, the inspector, to see what it's like, because they don't want us to know what they're doing, because it's obviously all, I'm just gonna say, evil and bad. But yeah, the fight that you're really having is yelling at Donald Trump and saying, "Why are you doing all these horrible things?" That's really what you're trying to argue, which is a really, really hard argument to have, because we're just all normal people and he's the president, you know. So
Well, I'm trying to understand it. I don't have my head wrapped around it yet, but I mean, it's very apparent. We know it's happening. And so I'm trying to get a little bit of understanding. So excuse my ignorance, but.
We're gonna wrap this conversation after Ms.
Okay.
Castañeda for the sake of time.
Yeah.
But do you have, sorry, we said.
Okay, I can explain it to you afterwards,
But-
federal government.
Do you have any other thing to report?
No.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have any other government representatives in attendance? If not, well, thank you so much, y'all, for coming. I'll be quick for the chairman update. Thank you so much for everybody that came to the Willow Bridge unveiling. We had a lot of people there. I know some people were interested in getting maybe some training about, like, for example, like a little retreat or what the rubber rules of order are and things like that. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I don't think we'll be during the meetings, but we can have like a separate event where we teach people like the skills of how to make a motion, you know, or any questions that you might have, right? But it's, I'm still working on that. But yeah, now we're gonna go with the board members because we are short on time. The way it's gonna work is I'm gonna give 1 minute to each board member to just give any updates. If you have no updates, you say no updates. And yeah, we're gonna start with perdón. We're gonna start with Ms. Espinosa. Do you have any updates?
Okay, so updates no, but I do kind of give a little information on some stuff that I do, because a lot of people do not kind of know who I am. So my name is Olga Espinosa, but AKA I'm Yali from Cholilla, and I was put that name for other reasons. I am an activist. I represent San Ysidro in some big things that people can't even talk about. But one of the things I do, when the Caravanas came over from South America, we opened a lot of shelters with other groups, grassroots groups from Norte California to down here. I'm really active on that issue. Se abrieron los en Tijuana, tents, blankets, all kinds of stuff, and we still send stuff down there. I personally take them. That's why my cars are sometimes really messed up. They're full of stuff I carry all the time. And once the people have numbers down there, because there's mucha gente, they have numbers, and then their numbers up, they have to come, they get locked up. Once they're locked up over here in the detention centers, well, they still communicate, people communicating. When they're out, they have a sponsor where they have to go to different locations. I get called in, they drop them off at the border. I don't know who they are, and I pick them up. Sometimes I pick them up at different hotels, those people in wheelchairs and stuff, and I have to take them to another destination, San Diego, Los Angeles, Santana. They continue their route via plane, or I take them to a different church, and they just keep until they're gonna go. I don't know who they are. I don't ask them. I just helped out. Also in their courts, I'm always at the court up there, the board of they give me a name. I go and sit there till it's their turn, just to make them stay longer right here. And I know their conditions are really bad, but that kind of people that go and support these people, if nobody's there supporting them, they're gonna kick them out because there's nobody there for them. I just have a name, I sit there, I wait. I assume it's the last ones are gonna come out because they're already going. And I just smile because I know that person's gonna be there longer. And some of the communities are really bad. It hurts to hear. That's as much as I can do. Like, it's hard to do more than what you can, you know? You know, I put my little granito and I try to help out, like, in everything I can. And that's kind of 1% of the things that I do. But I'm always representing San Ysidro, underground work. You guys are not even aware of what it is to get in front of people's faces. That's literally it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Olga, for all the work that you do. Jack, do you have an update?
Not necessarily an update, just again, very grateful for being part of the committee and having the opportunity to listen to obviously everything that's going on and impacting our community. And again, as I mentioned the first meeting, my job will be to obviously take all of this information, create, a whole, not agenda, but a notes, and share it to my neighbors, to anyone that I can. I saw that. Are we recording? Is this something we can share on social media?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's
She
just for our
does.
records. I mean, it's not the professional, but sometimes even for notes or whatever, it's nice to have something in recording. You encourage maybe more participation.
I would say if we can, obviously there's a lot of people that sometimes can't make it because of time, traffic, whatever, work. If there's any way we can upload these videos to our social media, Facebook or Instagram.
They're just super long.
So you do
I
share
do
the
on
link.
YouTube. I do share them on the. I
Yeah.
share them like right now. It's already shared on the Facebook, like as a
Okay.
link. It's there. I usually do that.
That could work too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just again, people that do want to be here or do want to listen to everything that's being spoken about, give them the opportunity to do that.
I totally agree, and a lot of people want to participate. So that's where we, as a planning group, I think need to really sit down and gather thoughts. Because I mean, what's the point of it being recording if they can't participate? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you have an update?
I think I said yesterday.
Okay, Mr. Morrison?
Yeah, I'll contact you to see if we can get a presentation going. There's a lot of new programs coming out for electrification, meaning replacement of all electrical panels, getting old stuff replaced, gas stoves replaced with electrical water heaters and things like that are going to be fully funded. And I think our community could really benefit out of those things because we have older homes, people who are retired who could not possibly afford those kind of things. So why not just put on a presentation with the details so that anybody could.
Just a quick blurb. As part of the subcommittee, is that something that you'd be interested in sharing that information?
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a community engagement. Those type of programs are essential for a community.
Yeah, we're doing workshops at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Morrison. Ms. Espinosa, you have an update?
Just quick. I just hope that everybody's being safe. I know there's been a lot of fires going on, a lot because of certain things. And yeah, just to be safe out there, drink a lot of water this summer. It's not June gloom yet, so we can do that. And also be careful when you drive out. Again, as brought up, there's been races at night, so just be careful when you're driving, and that's it.
Mr. Martinez, do you have an update?
Yes. The San Ysidro libraries will be doing community food giveaways. Unfortunately, from my understanding, there's none in San Ysidro, but there's some in Logan Heights, City Heights, Oak Park, etc. Also, at this time, there's a little event for younger generations. It's called Plant a Seed, which is basically like a challenge that if you read a book, you're gonna get some sort of reward. Yeah. I also want to share if we are comfortable with the idea of perhaps doing legislative visits as members of San Ysidro to the offices of the legislators, that represent us, kind of to go to their office in this case and actually like share some. This will be small and private. These offices are actually very, very cozy. But yeah, if that's something, I can also follow up on an email afterwards.
I love that.
I just want to say I love that idea.
Make sure that you put it on there.
Just email me, we can talk this, put it in the agenda. Ms. Castañeda, do you have an update?
Yes, all this stuff that we're sharing out there, if you post it on Instagram, put the San Ysidro page as a collaborator. What that does, that publishes it directly under the San Ysidro page, like if the administrator was publishing it. So we are empowered to actually repost through the page. I do it all the time through my community page. And that way, your stuff gets shared, gets shared, and you don't have to wait for nobody to upload it. You go in there, do your content, add them as a collaborator, and you share it. I strongly encourage tag the board members. When I do something, as long as somebody tells me, oh, don't tag me or untags me, then I get, okay, they don't want to be tagged. I try to tag everybody because everybody has their own little niche. Everybody has their own audience. When you do that, you reach the whole, well, not the whole, but you reach a large vast of the community. You tag San Ysidro, I go and I repost it on the pages. Olga runs a lot of the pages, the San Ysidro pages. So maybe get the names. So just to put the word out there.
Thank you so much. Ms. Valentina, you have an update?
Yes. Well, I just wanted to thank our new members that have been actually pretty present. Jackie, shout out to Jackie. She went to all the events. Thank you for being there. I think it makes a big difference. Thank you, Jennifer, and also Rick. I think it was really uncomfortable that Casa Familiar little get-together that there was. There was not enough time for people to actually go. And then the whole setting, it was really not welcoming at all. There was table between us, the sound. I've experienced this in other settings, but I think as a planning group, a community group, those are some things that we might want to be able to have presentations here or be able to like more listening forums here for our community, because I think we're a little more open-minded and willing to work and collaborate as a team, because I think it's really, really important. That was just one of my biggest comments. And then, well, since you're doing the engagement, but that was something else that I would like to sit down as a planning group and kind of think about where we want to go. We just got these seats for 4 years. And I think as a community, we can do a whole lot if we start working together, be able to brainstorm. But I know we have busy ideas.
Off the email you sent, Christian.
Thank you so much, Ms. Palestino. Mr. Redondo, you have an update?
Yeah, I want to just take a minute to communicate to everybody and apologize personally that when I was proposed for to lead the safety committee, I considered, took it literally, and that I could take and chair that subcommittee, and so I reconsider, being that I didn't know how to tap into the resources, and with Ms. Castaneda and Roxanne and people that helped me decide, what it entails to be in the subcommittee. So I went ahead and took a step to resign from that committee so that we can. And I propose that we can organize it better and organize it under somebody that really wants to be the leader. And I thought that I could take it for a while to find somebody that is more literate with computer skills, such things. So I mean, I think my proposal would be to, if somebody seconds it, to. I'm not proposing it, but Mr. Fuentes can at a later time. I'm just suggesting that we should launch it and organize it a little better, with having more people participate.
If I may add, and then we're gonna have this discussion for 6A. We already had a discussion, but if anybody's interested, I know we have a lot of new faces to help start, start off the safety subcommittee. I know it was we're always talking about safety, but Mr. Redondo had told me that he will appreciate someone that could help with the technology. So yeah, if anybody wants to go. I think as long as there's I guess someone from the board, like a board member, but anybody could help. But the chair has to be from the board. Okay, so maybe y'all can be in contact with each other, and we can discuss this more in 6A. But that's your update. Thank you so much, Mr. Redondo. And lastly, but not the least, Ms. Delgadillo. Have a minute.
Voy a hacerlo en español para más rápido. Mi nombre es Consuelo Delgadillo. Soy la vicepresidenta de Hearts and Hands, el grupo que damos la comida del Food Bank. Este mes se cambió para este próximo viernes porque es cada tercer viernes, pero por el Juneteenth, que va a ser día festivo, el Food Bank va a estar cerrado. se va a dar pasado mañana. Lo damos en las Américas a través de carro. Y toda la semana, con excepción de el primer martes y el tercer viernes, lo damos en el Community Service Center, allá cerca de la línea, de 3 a 5:30. Y con la tarjetita que se les da la primera vez, con esa pueden recoger también cuando se da a pie en Monte Carmelo. Quizá cambiemos de locación, pero todavía no estamos seguros.
¿A qué horas van a las de Monte Carmelo?
La gente se pone en la banqueta desde la bodeguita, desde a las 6 de la tarde de un día antes.
No.
Sí.
Pero ahí se quedan toda la noche.
Toda la noche. Toda la noche. A las 6 de la mañana empezamos a dar los boletitos y se empieza a las 8 porque a las 7 llega la comida y ya que se acomoda, a las 8 comenzamos. Pero están desde las 6 de la tarde, desde un día antes.
Muchísimas gracias.
Y nomás quería decirle a Adriana que la invitación que nos hizo el oficial, yo participé muchos años anteriormente y es un muy buen evento. Cuando entró el oficial Lacarra,
el National Night Out.
Oh,
sí, el National Night Out, no nos invitó nunca más. Ahora estoy feliz porque ya me dijo que se va a volver a hacer y que nos estaba invitando. Aparte pertenezco a la mesa directiva de Park and Rec y también de amigos de la biblioteca. Hasta ahorita nomás en esas.
¿Y el Planning Group? ¿Ya
Sí.
son?
Muchas gracias, Ms. Delgadillo. Now we're gonna move to 6A. I know, Mr. Arredondo, do you want to add something else?
No, I'm fine.
I know, yeah, do you have a question?
I just wanted to add something real quick, to create a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
For direct communication. That's it.
Yeah,
I'll do this after the meeting.
No, we would have to, we want to put a motion for it? Can
All right,
we?
we don't need to make a motion, we can just do the WhatsApp group. I can
I
do
don't know,
that.
we could just
Okay.
pass a paper and everyone write down their name.
Yes, you can do that right now, and I will do it like right after the meeting.
WhatsApp is not like promise or second formal. It's not like.
Okay, I wasn't too
It's
sure.
not like official communication.
Okay.
As long as you don't discuss, I guess, like, hey, I'm gonna pass this resolution, please vote in favor, like.
Oh, no, just like.
Don't discuss, I guess, matters on the agenda, and we should be good.
I did have a question for the leader. Where can we help volunteer to give out the food for like the hearts and hands, or how can we get involved?
Show up at 6 a.m.
Tenemos ya muchos años haciéndolo y en cada lugar tenemos como 40 voluntarios. Y se hicieron más, empezamos como con 20, 25, pero de ahora que el gobierno a los que les da estampillas tienen que trabajar, nos están llegando muchos voluntarios. Y tenemos que parar a cierta hora que ya no pase de 40 porque ya no hay más dónde ponerlos. Y nomás se andan paseando y contando su tiempo.
Bueno, si es una voluntaria en cualquier tiempo, me avisas. Yo lo voy a hacer.
Muy bien.
Pues, thank you so much. So just to finish the 6A item, what I think will be the best course of action is Mr. Arredondo and Mr. Colmenares, if y'all can meet. And then maybe next meeting you can give us a date and something, and I'm more than happy to assist and if y'all have questions. But yeah, I think that seems like a good course of action, right, Mr. Arredondo?
Yeah.
With that being said, we're gonna move to 7A. We don't have anything from the CPC. Now we have Jennifer, your representative, and from the Open Mesa Planning Group, Ms. Castañeda, you are representative. Now we're on item 8. It's 8:05. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Señor Paul.
Oiga, si invitan a los de Santa Cruz, señores.
If you're in the floor, right before the resolution,
Are you